Google image Ted from Curious George, and you'll get a good indication of what the people heavily clad in yellow around us look like.
Yeah, it certainly works for the weather tonight. Grey skies, mist about, Tottenham players ready to go in a little huddle away to our left on this artificial pitch. Bodø Glimt have played 9 games in Europe on it this season, 3 in the Champions League qualifiers. They very nearly made it through to the Champions League group stages. They won all 3 of their home games in those qualifiers, and they won 6 out of 7 in the Europa League. Karabag, the only team to win here. But they've won games and won them well, and they've got key players back tonight. Let's give you the 2 teams before we get started. Tottenham, just the one change from the first leg, the 3-1 win over Bodø Glimt at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium last week. The 2 teams are just changing ends after the toss of the coin before the game, and Tottenham have Guillermo Vicario, all in orange, just jogging back towards the goal away to our right in goal for Tottenham. Back 4, Pedro Porro, Christian Romero, Mickey van der Ven and Destiny Udogie. Yves Bissouma, Rodrigo Bentancur in front of them. Then it's Brennan Johnson, scored in the first minute last week to get Tottenham off to a flyer. Dejan Kulusevski and Richarlison on the left. Dominic Solanke through the middle. Bodø Glimt, apart from centre-back Odin Bjørtoft, are back to full strength. Key man Patrick Berg, heartbeat of the team, back in central midfield after suspension, and another member of that midfield, Hakon Evjen, back in the side as well. Nikita Haikin, the Russian, in goal. Big roar from the Bodø fans as we get started here under very grey skies. Tottenham closing down early on. Solanke very nearly nicked the ball on the edge of the Bodø Glimt penalty area. Clearance deflected, down the left it goes towards the Norwegian international Jens Petter Hauge. He is tackled. Bodø Glimt in bright yellow, playing from left to right in the first half. Fredrik Schuvel, Brede Mo, Jostein Gundersen and Fredrik Bjørkan, their back 4. Hakon Evjen, Patrick Berg, Ulrik Saltnes, the midfield 3. Ole Blumberg, Jens Petter Hauge and Kasper Høeg, Danish centre-forward, joint top scorer in the Europa League this season, is their centre-forward. Tottenham in dark green, they've won a throw on the right. Ange Postecoglou is wrapped up warm, protected against the elements. The Tottenham dugout is behind the advertising hoardings, but the 2 technical areas, little gap to get through the hoardings there, and Ange Postecoglou stands out pitch side, hands behind his back, and Kulusevski is wriggling his way down the right for Tottenham, trying to win them a throw in an attacking position. He's done that, Paul Robinson. Yeah, and he's done what he's done all season. Ange Postecoglou, he's picked an attacking lineup with Kulusevski coming in, left Brendan Johnson in the side on the right hand side, not put Papsar in there. He's got Kulusevski in behind Solanke, Richarlison on the left, Johnson on the right, and Spurs have started on the front foot. They've started sharp, they're looking to press. Clearly the word from the dressing room from Ange Postecoglou has been, let's start quickly and try and get that early goal. Leading 3-1 from the first leg. Bodø Glimt clear, Bissouma intercepts, the ball goes through the legs of Porro, took a touch off a home player, so Porro lets it go out for the throw. Manchester United against Athletic Bilbao. We'll have constant updates from Old Trafford. Commentary is over on Radio 5 Sports Extra. John Southall at Stamford Bridge for Chelsea against Djurgårdens in the second leg of the Europa Conference League semi-final. And Molly Stevens at Ashton Gate watching Bristol City against Sheffield United as a cross comes into the Bodø area. Richarlison controls it, gets the shot away, big deflection, loose inside the Bodø Glimt penalty area, hacked away by Brede Mo and out for a throw into Tottenham. Yeah, good ball into the box by Bentancur. Ball laid back to him to Pedro Porro, doesn't look up, just whips it into the penalty area. Richarlison gets himself free at the far post, doesn't make a great connection. It's a decent first touch from Richarlison, shot blocked on its way through. Richarlison just trying to squeeze a little ball down the left-hand touchline. That is blocked by the right-back Schuvel, who had a few things to say about the way Tottenham went about it in the first leg. Not particularly complimentary about their style of play. The manager just said that was a young man with a little bit of inexperience in the media. Another big roar from the Bodø fans. Miscontrol there from a Tottenham player. It's gone out for a throw-in to the home team, level with the edge of their own penalty area on the right. The ball is volleyed forward to their centre-forward Kasper Høeg, nods it down, Bentancur intercepts, and all the players, I think, obviously they've warmed up on the pitch, they've trained on the pitch as well, the Tottenham players, but looking forward to getting a touch of the ball, getting used to the playing surface tonight. Solanke trying to turn his man on the edge of the box. Here's Patrick Berg, so important to Bodø Glimt, missing that first leg through suspension, plays a little 1-2 with Schuvel, and starts to bring the ball up towards the halfway line. Dark hair tied back by a thin black hairband for Patrick Berg. his teammates always looking for him. There's Mo, plays it into the feet of Berg. Now it comes back to the goalkeeper. Heikin's got to be quick. Richarlison comes scampering forward for Tottenham. Pass out to the right-hand side to Schervel. Schervel plays a ball into midfield. It's a loose pass. Bentancur intercepts for Tottenham. Accidentally runs into Ole Blumberg there. No foul, but the ball eventually goes out for a throw into Bodø Glimt. It's 0-0.
They play a 4-3-3 Bodø Glimt. Regardless of who's been the manager, this club, it's almost an institution that they play that way. The back four and the clear midfield three and an attacking three. Berg, the main striker, he's going to be the main threat. Romero and Van der Ven are going to have the work cut out with him. It's important for Tottenham to stay in this tie, and by that I mean keep a clean sheet for as long as they possibly can and frustrate this home crowd.
Starting with the 2-goal lead. Tottenham have won 18 of their last 21 ties in European competition when they've won the first leg at home. 3-1 from the first leg in this tie. Here's Heikin, all in blue. The Bodø Glimt goalkeeper across to Schervel, the 21-year-old right back, showing a bit of confidence here, running away from Richarlison, bobbling a pass across this artificial pitch, which took a really heavy watering in the warm-up before the game. Rain falling constantly as well. Here come Bodø Glimt down the left-hand side, looking for a ball now from Southness into the penalty area, overhit, bounces once, and Vicario is able to make a very easy catch on the edge of his 6-yard box. What are artificial surfaces like for goalkeepers, Paul?
You know, I was speaking earlier about the way that the pitch is. When they're dry, they're sticky, they're horrible, and they're difficult for goalkeepers. Those of you that play on artificial surfaces, whether it be football, whatever sport, you'll know that when it's wet, the ball slips a bit quicker. I was speaking to people before the game, they said, oh, look how much they're watering the artificial pitch. I said, if I was a player and I come out and I saw that, I would love that. That's fantastic. Because as a goalkeeper, you know that the bounce is going to be true. It's not going to stop, it's not going to stick. Yes, it will be quicker, but you know it's going to come through quick, and you know it's going to come through true. The wetter the artificial surface is, the better for the players.
All 4 home games in Europe played by Bodø Glimt in 2025. They've won by at least a 2-goal margin. That's what they need tonight. 2-goal margin for them. Gets it to level in the tie. Could take us into extra time. Could take us all the way to penalties. Brede Mo, experienced defender, brought into the team tonight. Plays to his left to Gundersen. Fredrik Bjørkan has made ground down the left for Bodø Glimt. 6 minutes into the first half here in Norway. Bodø Glimt 0, Tottenham 0. Schervel closed down by Richarlison, white number 9 on the back of his sort of camo green shirt for Tottenham tonight. Bodø Glimt work it well to the right. Here's Blumberg. Blumberg playing in a more familiar position than he was in the first leg last week. So is Jens Petter Hauge over on the left-hand side. This is much more like the Bodø Glimt team that we've seen throughout the most of this season. And at the moment, it's patient possession from them. And this time, Brede Mo plays back to his goalkeeper Heikin. 10 yards outside his penalty area, one touch, driven ball up the middle of the pitch. Kasper Høeg stretches, controls, gets Hauger into the game on the left-hand side. He's running at Porro, takes him on the outside, tries to get the cross in, Porro blocks, and it's behind for a corner to the home team.
Yeah, that could be a problem for Tottenham down that left-hand side. Tottenham's right-hand side. Hauger looks like he's got the pace, and he's just done Pedro Porro. Little step over, got round the outside of him. Not often you see Pedro Porro run past that easily.
6 games away from home in Europe this season for Tottenham. 3 wins, 1 draw and 2 defeats. Defeats away to Galatasaray in the group stages, away to AZ Alkmaar as well. First corner for them to defend, gets all the way to the far post. Blumberg drives it into the side netting on the bounce, and it goes behind for the goal kick. First attempt on goal comes from Bodø Glimt. Early stages at Old Trafford now, Ian Dennis.
And Athletic Bilbao have had the first chance of the game after 8.5 minutes. And Berenguer, right-footed, inside left channel, right-footed, couldn't keep it down. 0-0 on the night.
Thank you, Ian. Ian continues to commentate on that game on Sports Extra. Every time Tottenham take a bit of time in restarting the game, that is the noise you're going to hear from the home fans all around us. First time ball from Udogi. Richarlison doesn't even bother to run for that. Knew it was going out of play. Throw in for Bodø Glimt.
Interesting that from Tottenham. Watching them, how often do we see Vicario take a goal kick, roll it across his 6-yard box to Romero, Van der Ven, Udogi, and they build up. That time there was no thought of that whatsoever. Game management like there was last time in Eintracht Frankfurt. Tottenham squeezed up the pitch. Vicario took his time. Old-fashioned way, put it on the 6-yard box and kick it as far as you can. That's something I've not seen Tottenham do that often.
So far so good then for Tottenham here. Manchester United at Old Trafford and Chelsea at home against the Swedes, Djurgårdens. If Chelsea go through to the final, that will be either against Fiorentina or Real Betis. Real Betis taking a 2-1 lead to Italy for the second leg of that one. Jeers and whistles again as Porro launches the throw down the right. Berg steps in for Bodø Glimt, hoists the clearance into that shallow, steep stand that runs alongside the touchline opposite to us at this stadium. We look away to our left-hand side, open-ended for the 400 Tottenham fans that are here, so they'll be getting wet. Throw in down the right towards Porro, tries to get a cross in on the turn. Blocked by Berg. Berg thought about a long clearance with his right foot. Plays to Gundersen. Forward it comes into midfield. Then Evjen. Another one back in the team tonight after being suspended for that first leg. And Berg, again, just setting the tempo, the rhythm for Bodø Glimt. Whips a pass out to the right. Good tackle by Udogi, high up for Tottenham. Ball runs here, though, to Breda Mo. Breda Mo, the centre-back, hits the long diagonal. Porro is underneath it, heads it away. It bounces once. Brennan Johnson gets a foot on it, knocks it forward for Solanke to chase. He puts Gundersen under pressure. Gundersen gets his pass back to the goalkeeper, Heikin, who takes a touch and then tries to judge the clearance, but it's beyond Schürrle and goes out for a throw into Tottenham. So we're coming up to 10 minutes played in the first half in Norway. Bodø Glimt 0, Tottenham 0.
Yeah, the attacking lineup that Ange Postecoglou's picked, when they do that, they press high. Kulusevski joins Solanke, Richarlison and Brennan Johnson. That's twice now that Bodø Glimt, they've broken the press. One pass has taken those 4 players out of the game.
Richarlison and Udogi looking for a 1-2. That breaks down. Bentancur onto the loose ball. He's wearing the dark black gloves this evening. Christian Romero, the Tottenham captain, passes to his left to Van de Ven. Van de Ven zips that ball across the pitch to Udogi, outside of his left foot. Passes half block. Blumberg knocks it into midfield. Soutness helps it on to Buurkan. Now Hauge. Hauge looking for the run of Hurd through the middle. Van de Ven has it covered. You heard the excited screams and squeals of the Bodø fans as they thought a chance was coming there. Tottenham have dealt with that for now, and then Porro goes long and high with his right foot, clears Gundersen, that bounces. Gundersen side foots it back to Heikin. He chips the ball up in the air, down by the byline on the left. Clever little volley from Gundersen to Buurkan. Tottenham have won it back though. Kulusevski nips in, 30 yards out. Promising position for Tottenham. How they'd love an early goal. Cross in from Udogi, takes a deflection, and Heikin is able to fall on it for the home team.
Yeah, the press works that time from Tottenham. Solanke did well, he chased the goalkeeper down. He was getting support from Kulusevski in behind him. He nicks possession back out to Udogi on this side. Gets a decent cross in, defender ends up getting a block. Safely back into the goalkeeper's arms, but that's better from Tottenham, higher up the field.
Lovely back heel from Hauge. Had the home fans purring. Here's Patrick Berg. They've come back into their own half, Bodø Glimt. Gundersen, the left-sided centre-back, across to Buurkan. Good interception on the right here by Bentancur, who's popped up in a couple of important spots early on for Tottenham. Evjen to Berg. Out it goes to the left-hand side to Buurkan. Floated pass down the left. Romero's across, nods it down, keeps the ball in play, ends up in a heap. Off the pitch away to the right-hand side, and Bodø Glimt's manager Kjetil Knutsen just gives him a little pat on the back, checks he's okay. Tottenham play long down into the Bodø Glimt half. That was risky from Heikin. The ball was just inside his penalty. He just flipped to right-handed it to sort of knock it back to where he wanted it to be, and I saw Solanke sort of half-heartedly appeal for a potential handball outside the box. Bodø Glimt have given the ball away. Udogi drives forward down the left-hand side. Udogi has 2 defenders for company here, looking to win a corner. He's done that. Tottenham fans are right there, away to our left in that end near Udogi. Banners are out. One of them is a Scottish flag with Kilmarnock written across the top of it. Tottenham in no hurry to take the corner. Let's check in at Stamford Bridge. John Southall.
Chelsea 0, Djurgården 0. Chelsea dominating the opening 13 minutes. Corner on the left-hand side. Badiashile with a header over the bar, 8 yards out. 0-0, 4-1 to Chelsea on aggregate.
Cheers and whistles again for Pedro Porro, taking it to Ashton Gate shortly. Still 0-0 at Old Trafford. That's good news for Manchester United, leading 3-0 from the first leg against Athletic Bilbao. Porro has his left arm in the air, waits to take the corner. runs to the ball now, low one into the near post, flick onto the far post, clears everyone. Ball might stay in play, no it doesn't, bounces twice and goes behind for the goal kick to Bodø Glimt. So 13 minutes in, Paul Robinson. No real scares for Tottenham. We've had the one shot from Blumberg into the side netting.
They've started well, Tottenham. They're pressing on the front foot, attacking, like we said, out of possession. But actually, the one thing that you can say is they've quietened this home crowd down a little bit. You know, it was loud before the game, but now actually you can feel there's maybe a little bit of anxiety. They needed an early goal, the home side, and Tottenham have managed the game well thus far.
Basuma playing back towards the halfway line. Next break in play, we will take you to Ashton Gate. First leg Championship playoff semi-final, Bristol City against Sheffield United. Tottenham have possession for the moment. Here's Van de Ven. Van de Ven with a left-footed pass across to Romero inside the Tottenham half. Rolls it now to Porro. Porro looking to get Brennan Johnson away down the right. Nicely measured pass. Gunderson knocks it out for the Tottenham throw to Ashton Gate. Molly Stevens.
Bristol City nil, Sheffield United nil. What a frantic start here in an electric Ashton Gate. The visitors thought they had the lead on 11 minutes through Tyrese Campbell. That, after lengthy celebrations, eventually ruled out for offside. Then a shot off the bar from Bristol City's Joe Williams for now 0-0.
Coventry-Sunderland tomorrow in the Championship playoffs. Throw in for Tottenham. Porro launches that into the penalty area, headed away by Berg. Porro is there first, punches his pass back to Romero into the feet of Bentancur. Dainty little turn from him, couple of touches, and Tottenham decide to come back to the goalkeeper Vicario. Bodø Glimt 0, Tottenham 0. Coming up to 15 minutes played. You're listening to us on BBC Radio 5 Live. Always available on the BBC Sounds app if you're on the move. And BBC Radio London tonight have got our commentary as well. So welcome all. Stretching leg from Hykin. Back pass. Didn't nearly evade him. Had to be careful there, keep his eyes on the ball, and Bodø Glimt knock it down the right. Berg battles the centre forward, wrestles with Romero. Romero wins the challenge. Bodø Glimt fans try to get the decision for their team. They're not going to do that.
Stamped his authority there, didn't he, Romero? Going one-on-one with Berg, the big striker. Just put his shoulder in and said, no, not today. I'm stronger than you. I'm going to take that off you. Good authority from Romero, stepping in.
Porro speeding forwards for Tottenham, fires the ball diagonally across to Richarlison. Richarlison's got defenders backpedaling. Udogie on the outside, crossing, chance potentially for Tottenham. Ball's loose inside the box, no one there to stick it away. Richarlison went chasing. Hykin, the goalkeeper, got a palm on that. It fell loose, and there wasn't a Tottenham player on hand to stick it away. Bodø Glimt again, just heard a few noises of frustration inside the stands as they give the ball away.
Goalkeeper there does brilliantly, does really well. Hykin. There's a cross on this left hand side from Udogie, gets himself in a really good position, smashes it across the 6-yard box, and Brennan Johnson thinks he's got an empty net to tap it in. Goalkeeper comes diving out towards his 6-yard line, gets the faintest of touches, takes it out the path of Johnson, but good again from Tottenham. You can hear Bodø Glimt, the chant Bodø Glimt ringing around the stadium right now. 0-0 in the game. Tottenham lead 3-1 from the first leg, playing for a place in the Europa League final. Tottenham trying to reach a 6th major European final. Defending to do. Saltness beaten to the ball by Bentancur. Bentancur tries to run it out of defence. He's been knocked over. No foul. Here's Berg. Little layoff on the edge of the box. Blumberg trying to get outside Van de Ven. Back heels it here to Evjen. Evjen's pass to Berg. Berg tries to get his shot away. Plenty of Tottenham players in attendance. Romero might have been caught there as he got a foot on the ball. Referee's going to play an advantage here. Kulusevski starts to bring the ball away. Referee says no advantage there. Tottenham get the free kick. Let's give the referee a name. I've not done that just yet. He's an Italian by the name of Maurizio Mariani. I think he did well there, the referee. He looked to play an advantage. Spurs were back defending on the edge of the box. They had everybody back behind the ball. Ball broke loose to Kulusevski. He took the ball upfield, but he's soon surrounded by 4 or 5 Bodø Glimt players. There was no advantage, so the referee brought it back. And as you can hear, the boos again in the background. Vicario's in no rush. Back to Old Trafford. Manchester United, Athletic Bilbao. Ian Dennis.
We've been playing for 18 minutes. Manchester United 0, Athletic Bilbao 0. Just that Berenguer shot, the only real worthwhile opportunity. Manchester United, though, remember, still have that 3-goal lead from last week's first leg. 0-0.
Thank you, Ian, which is why, as things stand, we are heading towards an all-English Europa League final in Bilbao in just under 2 weeks' time. 0-0 here in Norway. Again, the Bodø fans are up. Kasper Høeg this time knocked over by Bentancur. Referee didn't see anything wrong with that. Given as a throw to Bodø Glimt. 17 minutes gone in the first half. Unremittingly bleak grey skies above our heads. Light, cold rain still falling. Gunderson comes scampering across his own half to get on the ball for Bodø Glimt. Solanke is close by. Out it goes to Buurkan on the left. Immediately, Saltness makes a run. Porro thinks he's got it covered. The ball is rolling towards the dead ball line, and Porro shepherds it out of play, and that will be a goal kick to Tottenham.
That's better this time from Pedro Porro. He gets goal side of his player, puts himself in a really good position. He gets the beat to Saltness, just sings the ball out for a goal kick. And again, Tottenham sending all the players up forward, up to the halfway line. You can hear the boos because Vicario's taken his time. One of the ball boys put a ball on the pitch. Vicario didn't want that, he took another one. Taking the time now, Tottenham sending all the players forward, and once again going long. Vicario clears with his right foot. Udogie jumps, miss is the flick on. It goes out for a throw-in to Bodø Glimt. And just before the booing over the Tottenham restart, every single Bodø fan in the stadium around us to their feet for some choreographed clapping and chanting. Long ball downfield from the goalkeeper, Heikin. Van der Ven turned on the afterburners there. He was well behind Blumberg. He got there ahead of him, clears the ball, falls over as he does so, keeps it in play, and Udogie plays it back to Bissouma. He's so quick, isn't he, Van der Ven? He had 5 yards on him there, Herg. And Van der Ven had no problem whatsoever, like you said, just put the turbos on, cruised past him, and made a very difficult situation simple very quickly. Brennan Johnson's got a bit of pace about him, won't catch that ball down the right-hand side, cleared by Heikin again. Loose play inside the Bodø Glimt half, and then the ball just bobbles away from Hauge there. Tottenham get it back to goalkeeper Vicario. 19 minutes in, Bodø Glimt 0, Tottenham 0. Udogie floats a pass forward. Solanke can't do anything with that. Knocked back into the Tottenham half. High bouncing ball, controlled by Blumberg with his blue boots. Looking for Berg in midfield. Kulusevski doing good work for Tottenham to get back, slide in and nick it. Here's Solanke, outside of his right foot to Richarlison. Richarlison knocks it down the line to Kulusevski. He's beaten for pace by Brede Mo, who chips the ball out of play for a throw-in to Tottenham on the left. Yeah, didn't fancy him to beat Kulusevski for pace there. Brede Mo coming back into the side at 33 years of age. The experienced Norwegian defender had the beat to Kulusevski. Once again, taking the time with set plays, throw-ins. Tottenham are doing well managing this game. Again, Bodø Glimt fans unhappy with the time taken for Tottenham to get the ball back in play. Richarlison receives the throw from Udogie, can't quite work it back to him. And Bodø Glimt start to play out from inside their own half. Forward here to the centre forward, Kasper Høeg. Back to Jens Petter Hauge. Started wide left, currently over on the right-hand side. Ball is back in the Bodø Glimt half, at the feet of the centre-back, Brede Mo. Brede Mo looks to his left, but plays the ball to his right to Schervel. Some of the Bodø fans to our left decide to sit down, which makes things a little bit easier to see away to our left. Here's Heikin, the goalkeeper, chip ball up to the halfway line, nodded down by Udogie. Richarlison has time to turn and find the pass to Solanke. Solanke looks like he's tripped their edge of the box, wins the free kick for Tottenham, 20 yards out. Yeah, it was a foul on Solanke, really good play. Swift interchange, quick movement, Richarlison, Solanke. Solanke gets a run, you can see he gets to the edge of the box, he's got one thing on his mind. Just as he's about to pull the trigger, Patrick Berg clatters him from behind. Free kick to Tottenham, just outside the D. Almost central, really good opportunity for them now. Take the time and get a strike on goal. Well played by Dominic Solanke, good centre-forward play. Leading 3-1 in the tie. Those are the thoughts of the former Tottenham and England goalkeeper Paul Robinson, here with us in northern Norway. No James Maddison tonight, he definitely would have fancied this, but there's plenty in this Tottenham team who can strike a ball. Bentancur was certainly interested. Kulusevski has come over to have a chat. Pedro Porro, I think, has made it pretty clear that it's going to be his. Wall looks a long way as well, doesn't it? The referee's just put his vanishing spray down. Draft excluder, or what do you call it on the commentators' podcast? It's a skirting board now, is it? Yes, the skirting board. That's right, yeah. Yeah, because it's attached to the wall rather than the door. I've got a couple of great Norwegian football aphorisms for you, which I'll tell you in just a second. Let's see what Tottenham can do with the free kick, though. 5-man wall, standing tall in bright yellow. Tottenham in dark green. Pedro Porro with his right foot. Good delivery, tipped over the bar by Heikin. That's behind for the Tottenham corner. That's a great free kick by Pedro Porro. Looked too close, almost too close to get it up and down. Doesn't get a lot of power in it, Pedro Porro, which allows Heikin to get across 2 steps to his right. Goalkeeper in the end makes a comfortable save to his top right-hand corner, but it's a decent free kick by Porro. Yeah, it's about a yard or so in from that left-hand post, so not quite where the owl sleeps in that very top corner, but good save from the goalkeeper. See, I listen to too many of your podcasts.
Yeah.
I'm picking things up now. Where the owl sleeps.
Got them all written down. Here's the Tottenham corner then, which Porro will take from the left, midway through the first half. Pace on that delivery all the way through to the far post. Danger there for a moment. Ball is cleared away by Hauger for Bodø Glimt. Closest man to it is Ange Postecoglou, the Tottenham boss, the Australian, who of course constantly reminded of those words earlier in the season about always winning a trophy in his second season. Has the ball in his right hand, offering it to a Tottenham player. Pedro Porro comes slowly jogging towards him, takes it off his manager, then takes that throw, and back it comes to Christian Romero. So Manchester United and Athletic Bilbao still goalless at Old Trafford. Commentary of that one over on Sports Extra. Manchester United leading 3-0 from the first leg. And Chelsea and Djurgårdens. Lots of changes for Chelsea tonight. Big game for them on Sunday at home to Newcastle. They lead 4-1 from the first leg, 0-0 at Stamford Bridge. Gunderson shoved over by Solanke, gets the pass away. Here's Breda Mo, right-footed ball beyond Richarlison, finds Schervel. Schervel's low pass out to the right. Blumberg forced back into his own half there by Van de Ven, who's very happy to come up the pitch for Tottenham because he knows he's got the gas to get back if he needs. And then Breda Mo encouraged to run forward towards the halfway line. Buurkan pushes a pass down the left. It comes back into central midfield to Patrick Berg, but Tottenham chasing everything down at the moment. You can see the intensity, you can see the effort. Here it comes from Solanke, running hard towards the goalkeeper, Hykin. Across to Schervel again, patient from Bodø Glimt, looking to get the first goal that could get those Tottenham nerves rattling a little.
Good from Tottenham though. I mean, you can see a structure, you can see a formation. Quite often you watch Tottenham and you see the back four in their shape. Sometimes maybe not even the back four, sometimes the fullbacks have deserted the two centre-halves like was happening earlier on in the season. And you see the midfield three, the front three, and everyone going off in different directions high up the field, where actually now you've got that back four structure. You've got Bentancur, Basuma, two who are clearly sat in front of that back four. Kulusevski, Johnson, Richarlison in a three behind Solanke. You can see a structure, clear presence out of possession.
Van de Ven again way up the pitch, does brilliantly for Tottenham. No, the whistle blows. That's a foul on Blumberg. Blumberg in the right back position there. Van de Ven followed him all the way, thought he'd won it clean, and was racing through on goal.
Yeah, he's unlucky there, Van de Ven. Blumberg's clever. Van de Ven's got the beat of him, both strength and pace. Gets goal side of him. Blumberg goes to ground very easily. Gets the free kick. If he didn't, Van de Ven was running into the box.
Paul Robinson there mentioning the Commentators View podcast. Recorded the latest episode of that this morning, so that'll be available on the BBC Sounds app tomorrow. This time the decision goes against Bodø Glimt centre-forward Kasper Høeg. Now he feels he's been knocked around a bit by the Tottenham defenders. Now he's put, you know, a bit of weight into a challenge. Not only has been penalised for it, has been given the yellow card as well. It was Van de Ven he clashed with. Yeah,
it was dissent more than anything. Høeg didn't feel that it was a free kick or a foul. Watching the replay, it was. The two of them jumped together. He leant on Van de Ven while Van de Ven was in the air, pushed him over while he was in the air, and it was his frustration and the way that he approached the referee, vented towards the referee. Got to give him credit, the referee, because I don't like that, and I like that what the referee did. Showed him a yellow card immediately and said, I'm not having that.
Home fans not happy. Van de Ven takes the free kick. He gets away from Solanke, skids off the surface and goes behind for a goal kick to Bodø Glimt. They take that quickly. Solanke's alert. He's chasing everything down at the moment. They come back to their goalkeeper, Nikita Hykin. The wind is up. The temperature is dropping. That thin rain is being blown across the ground here. Van de Ven wins a header and it goes out for a throw-in. Yeah, to Bodø Glimt. Bodø fans for a second there, I think, thought the assistant referee had pointed the other way. Schervel takes the throw. Back it comes to Mo. Mo to the goalkeeper Hykin, again 5 yards outside his penalty area. Forward to Evjen. You can just see little sort of splashes of water going up when a pass is hit like that as it runs across the artificial playing surface here. Gunderson out to Buurkan, the left back. In his way is Brennan Johnson. Ball chipped forward to the halfway line. Nice possession play from Bodø Glimt, but so far the only shot on goal came from Blumberg from a tight angle, and it went into the side netting. Here is the bearded Blumberg again in his blue boots. Turns away from goal, comes running across the Tottenham half. Kulusevski shepherds him back towards the halfway line. Gunderson passes here to Mo again. Mo just throws both arms out as if to say, give me an option. All he can do is play back to Gunderson. Tottenham have all the angles covered at the moment. Bodø Glimt 0, Tottenham 0. Play just building up here, just inside the Tottenham half. Forward to Evjen, surrounded by the dark green Tottenham shirts. Evjen has found a bit of space, wriggles into it, plays it to Hauger on the left-hand side. Hauger then back to the left-back Bjorkan. Out to Hauger again. I can see the bright yellow flags waving on the opposite side of the ground. Nicely worked down the left. Hauger's little ball trying to find its way into the Tottenham penalty area. Gets another chance here. Porro's in front of him. Bjorkan in support. Uses Evjen. Hauger again. Scoop pass. Just lobs it up in the air. Bissouma across for Tottenham. Side foot to clearance, out of play. Throw in for Bodø Glimt, and they take that immediately. Still in an attacking position here. Tottenham defenders come chasing out. Richarlison tries to close it down. Patrick Berg in the end has to pass back to his goalkeeper inside his own half.
Good defending from Tottenham in the wide areas. They've not done that all season, you know, every time. Pedro Porro that time doubling up with Brendan Johnson. Brendan Johnson working hard, getting back in to protect his fullback, and at the same time Bissouma coming across and tidying things up, working in twos, working in threes, hunting and closing down in packs.
Bodø Glimt 0, Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0, Athletic Bilbao 0. Both of those results more than good enough to see the two English teams through to an all-Europa League final in Bilbao on Wednesday the 21st of May. Home fans encouraging their team again, as you can hear. Blumberg side foots a little disguised pass into the inside right channel. Schervel can't get there. Here's Udogie, hair flying behind him as he plays to Richarlison. Bentancur. Ball just went through his legs there. Pass forward to Kulusevski. Can't control it. Goal at Old Trafford, Ian Dennis.
A glimmer of hope. A glimmer of hope for Athletic Bilbao. And what a goal by Mikel Jauregui. With 15 minutes to go to half-time, right-footed, curling, finds the top right-hand corner. 5,000 Athletic Bilbao supporters go wild. Manchester United 0. Athletic Bilbao 1. United lead 3-1 in aggregate.
And Tottenham lead in Norway 3-1 on aggregate. Udogie's just been turned inside out just on the edge of the Tottenham penalty area. Had to concede the free kick. Danger for Tottenham here.
Yeah, poor defending by Udogie. He gets beaten all ends up by Blumberg, gets the wrong side of him. Udogie brings him down in a dangerous position. Not so sure he really needed to do that. He had cover behind him. There was cover from his centre half, Van der Ven, in behind him, giving Bodø a free kick in what looks like a very dangerous position.
So Manchester United 1-0 down. Commentary of that game over on Sports Extra, still leading 3-1 on aggregate. Real Betis 1-0 up away to Fiorentina, 3-1 up on aggregate. So as it stands, that'll be Chelsea against Real Betis in the Europa Conference League final. And that final a week after the Europa League final in Wrocław in Poland. Whistle blows for the free kick. Patrick Berg with his right foot, real pace on it, and Vicario flicks it away with his left hand. That was heading for the top corner. He gets congratulations from his Tottenham teammates, and that's behind for a Bodø Glimt corner.
Right behind that free kick, not so sure whether Patrick Berg actually meant that. Whips it high, up over Vicario's head, heading into the top right-hand corner. Goalkeeper moves his feet, does extremely well with his left hand, palms it away for another corner.
Corner will come in from the left. Two giant Bodø Glimt flags swaying in the rain behind Patrick Berg as he takes a long run at this ball. High swinging curler to the far post. Gunderson gets a header on it. Brennan Johnson is up for Tottenham, nods it sideways. Romero runs out into the left back position. Under pressure here from Blumberg, who's sensible, doesn't foul him. Romero makes the pass to Bentancur down the dead ball line. Forward it goes to Richarlison. Flicks it on here to Solanke. Solanke chased by hordes of bright yellow shirts. Eventually loses it. Patrick Berg makes the tackle. And the Bodø Glimt fans getting into it again. So Tottenham have successfully navigated the first half hour of this game. Came here with a 3-1 lead against a team who are very, very good on this artificial pitch. And at the moment, 0-0 on the night. And Tottenham leading 3-1 on aggregate. Van der Ven gets a foot in, wins the ball, but it goes through back towards the Bodø defenders. Pass into the midfield. Evjen quickly sweeps that out to the left-hand side. Bjorkan on the move for Bodø Glimt. Jens Petter Hauger senses an opportunity inside. Late challenge from Brennan Johnson. Immediate yellow card. Hauger is down hurt. Let's take you to Ashton Gate. Update on Bristol City against Sheffield United in the playoffs. Molly Stevens.
Where it's goalless yet. Another chance though for Tyrese Campbell after his earlier goal was ruled out for offside. He's one-on-one with the Bristol City keeper Max O'Leary. He shoots low for O'Leary to save with his knees on the ground. Side A Peck then with a rebound and a fingertip save from O'Leary over the bar. A brilliant game at Ashton Gate. 0-0.
13 minutes remaining in the first half here. Weather conditions ever so slightly worsening. Floodlights seem to be getting brighter, although it's not night time. It doesn't seem to get dark here. Solanke trying to run away with the ball for Tottenham. Bentancur's been penalised for the foul.
This is the first time in the game you feel Tottenham are coming under a little bit of pressure. Solanke's having to sit back, defend. That defensive shape that I spoke about earlier is in full action at the moment. The yellow shirts keeping comfortable possession. Everything's been in front of Tottenham. It's when they get in behind that's when it's caused Tottenham the problems. But actually Tottenham have done very well to restrict that happening.
Richarlison looking to get Solanke away. Breda Mo has that covered for Bodø Glimt, applauded by the home fans. Back to the keeper Hiking, quickly out to young Sherville, the right back. Dances his merry way around Udogi. Down the right it goes to Blumberg. Blumberg has to side foot a pass back to Mo. One of the Bodø fans in these very distinctive, floppy, waterproof yellow hats, just with the peak rolled up above his eyes, disappears down the stairs in front of us. As Bodø Glimt continue to play inside their own half. Great atmosphere inside the stadium, and you know it's going to go up a level or two if Bodø Glimt can get the first goal in this tie. Fiorentina have equalised against Real Betis at home. 1-1 on the night. Real Betis lead 3-2 on aggregate. Here's Blumberg. Forward to Evjen. Evjen plays back to Patrick Berg. Club song now being sung inside this stadium as the cross comes in from the left. Berg's there with the header wide of the target. Difficult, nearly beyond him, and couldn't force Vicario into the save. Goal kick for Tottenham.
That's the best chance of the game for the home side. Gets himself free, finds himself in between Romero and Van de Ven. Centre forward Herg. Ball in from the left-hand side, right-footed in swing. Its ball's travelled a long way. Shouldn't be free that far into the penalty box. Van de Ven's nowhere near him. Romero's nowhere near him. Unfortunately for Tottenham, it's just too high and too far for Herg. Gets connection on it, but it goes harmlessly over Vicario's crossbar.
If I had a penny for every time I heard the club song of Bodø Glimt being sung in the town centre this afternoon as I was doing my notes, had the hotel window open, I would be an incredibly rich man and could afford possibly a pint this evening. Paul,
did you have your window open in your room? I think they took the mops and buckets out of my room before they put a bed in there. I can't even walk around the bed in mine. I've not found the window yet.
Van de Ven to Porro. Low pass down the right. Doesn't find its target, so Brennan Johnson has to work hard to try and get it back off Bjorkan. Does well for Tottenham. Bjorkan's running out of play for a throw. Tottenham in no hurry to take that. So Tottenham still have their 3-1 aggregate lead, and if we're going to go for one of our Norwegian football sayings that our engineer Phil came up with, found loads of these for me because he knows how much I enjoy the language of football, and particularly the foreign language, the foreign sayings. Apparently to be in a great place in Norwegian football speak is to be in the middle of the butter melting in the porridge. That's what they say over here, Paul.
Do you believe in him? You think everything that he's given you is bona fide, do you?
I do. I do.
Do you not think he's just thought, see how daft I can make Ali sound on the radio?
Well, he also tells me to mess it up, so if Tottenham mess it up from here, apparently that's the step in the salad. So Ange Postecoglou does not want to be stepping in the salad this evening. Tottenham have got to be careful now. Here come Bodø Glimt down the right. Sherville to Berg. Berg across the midfield here to Bjorkan. Bjorkan quickly plays it wide to Hauger. His attempted pass blocked by Porro. Out for the throw to Bodø Glimt. 9 minutes remaining in this first half. 0-0 on the night. Tottenham leading 3-1 on aggregate. Pass from Sherville out to the left for Bodø Glimt. Little step over. Can they get the cross into the box? Bissouma's in the right place this time. Controls it. Couple of touches. Brings it away. Then his clearance is blocked. Comes off two Bodø Glimt players and goes out for the throw into Tottenham in their right back position. Paul Robinson.
They're getting deeper, Tottenham. They are the home side dominating the possession, and those green shirts are getting nearer and nearer Vicario's 18-yard box. But I think the important thing for Tottenham now, stating the obvious, get to half-time with your nil intact. Get a 0 by the side of your name, get in the dressing rooms, regroup. But I do think that Tottenham would like the comfort of that extra goal. I think if the home side do get that goal, then the atmosphere in here changes. The energy filters down onto the pitch, and as a player, a 2-goal lead as a player, you know, if you're 2-0 up at half-time, it's never really a nice lead at half-time. Well, it certainly wasn't the teams I played for anyway.
This is how it stands then in the European football tonight. Bodø Glimt 0, Tottenham 0. Tottenham leading 3-1 on aggregate. Manchester United 1-0 down at Old Trafford against Athletic Bilbao, still leading 3-1 on aggregate. Goal at Stamford Bridge now, John Southall.
Chelsea lead Djurgården by 1-0. That's 5-1 now on aggregate. Kieran Dewsbury Hall into the penalty area, off the left post and into the bottom corner. If it wasn't over before, it is now. Chelsea 1, Djurgården 0, 5-1 on aggregate.
Looking very comfortable for Chelsea, thank you, John. Blumberg slides across this artificial pitch, try and keep a ball in, down by the dead ball line, wide on the right for Bodø Glimt. Can't do it. That is going to be a goal kick for Tottenham. Vicario has the ball in his right hand. He's going to walk slowly all the way across his 6-yard box, and it gets a predictable reaction. And actually the referee's gone to have a word now, Paul, and said, right, that is it. Any more of that, it'll be a yellow card.
It's been a part of Tottenham's tactics in this first half. You can clearly see it's been a similar performance in a way to the one in Eintracht Frankfurt. They've been trying to break the game up, slow the game down, take their time with throw-ins, set plays. And again now Richarlison goes down under a challenge. The challenge wasn't particularly heavy. He's clever, wins his team a free kick. Nobody's in a rush to take it. Richarlison still sat down. I think it's called game management, isn't it?
Yeah. Bristol City 0, Sheffield United 0. That one also kicked off at 8 o'clock in the Championship playoff semi-finals. Back to Premier League commentaries at the weekend across 5 Live, Sports Extra and the BBC Sport website. Here's Udogie, diagonal with the free kick beyond Solanke. Behind it goes for a Bodø Glimt goal kick. Remains 0-0 here to Old Trafford. Ian Dennis.
We have 4 minutes to go to half-time, and Athletic Bilbao still lead by 1-0 on the night. That terrific strike by Jauregui as Garnacho tries to come forward, but he's stopped. Manchester United have created very little, but they do lead 3-1 on aggregate.
And Ian, you will hear at Southampton on Saturday. Southampton against Manchester City in the Premier League is our 3 o'clock kick-off. 5:30 we've got Bournemouth against Aston Villa. Those games coming your way on Saturday. Breda Mo, Richarlison breathing down his neck, nearly gave the ball away. Udogie then tries to force his way down the left-hand side. Schervel makes a good interception for Bodø Glimt. It goes out for the Tottenham throw. Do you think Dominic Solanke's not moving totally freely here, Paul?
Yeah, there's a question mark about his fitness before the game. And we saw them training last night. He took part in training, but as to what level we don't know, because obviously the media's only privy to the first 15 minutes of any session. There was doubts over how fit he actually was. Just saw him limping, holding his knee, and he's not moving as freely as he was. Just one to keep an eye on, really.
Tottenham won a corner meanwhile. Richarlison's cross from the left-hand side blocked. And so Pedro Porro over to his left, gets ready to take the corner in front of those Tottenham fans.
Yeah, Solanke's over at the edge of the penalty box now while they're waiting for the corner to be taken. He's speaking to somebody on the Tottenham bench, whether it was the manager or the physio. There's communication between the two.
Took a brilliant penalty in the first leg last week, then came off in that second half and seemed to be struggling at that point. Maybe this is a recurrence. Here's the corner for Porro. Didn't get much on that. In it goes to the near post. Diving header away. Udogie is there. Udogie plays back to Vicario. Vicario's all alone inside his own half here. Lots of options. Bobbles his pass to Bissouma. First time ball. Bentancur tries to flick it on. Berg goes for a shot from long range. It bounces once and Vicario's back in time to make the save. It didn't have total conviction, the strike. Nice idea.
They were exposed, Tottenham. They really were. They committed a lot of bodies forward for that corner kick. Turnover of possession. Bissouma ended up in his own half. Just him and Vicario with 4 Bodø players bearing down on them. Bissouma ended up putting his foot through it, trying to get it into the other half. Went to Berg, who didn't quite catch his shot from long range, but you could see what he was doing. Vicario was a long way off his line.
Got the news in the town this afternoon. If Bodø Glimt do win the game and go through to the Europa League final, restaurants and bars open until 3 in the morning. My flight leaves Bodø at 7, Paul.
Yeah, I'm not so far after you, and I think if Tottenham don't win this tonight and Bodø do, I think the last place I want to be is in a bar with Bodø fans, to be honest.
Possibly. Would definitely be lively. Here's Gunderson, ball to the left, Burkan, burst of speed. Johnson sticks with him, gets a foot in, knocks it out for a throw-in to Bodø Glimt. 3 minutes remaining in the first half, still 0-0 here. Latest from Old Trafford, Ian Dennis.
as Manchester United still trail by a goal to nil. But 2 minutes before the break, they created the first real opportunity of the game. Dorga's through ball, perfectly weighted. Garnacho went for the dink finish, left-footed. He put it wide of the left-hand post. They still trail by a goal to nil on the night.
Still lead 3-1 on aggregate, do Manchester United, as do Tottenham Hotspur here. Bissouma making important challenges again. Ball still with Bodø Glimt, miscontrol by Hauger. Solanke is there, Solanke's down, but the ball runs to Porro. Porro charging away down the inside right channel, totally on his own, still running, looks up. Richarlison's trying to get forward, but not at great pace. Now the run made at the near post by Kulusevski. Richarlison's there at the far post, cross reached him, little touch on it back to Solanke. Solanke, little trick, then the ball onto his right foot, flicks the cross into the air, headed away by Mo. And now Tottenham have got to be a little bit careful of the Bodø Glimt counter, and that starts to build down the right. Fiorentina now lead Real Betis by 2-1 on the night. That is 3-3 on aggregate. Chelsea will meet the winners of that tie in the Europa Conference League final if Chelsea get the job done this evening. 1-0 up on the night against Djurgårdens, 5-1 on aggregate.
Tottenham will do well to get to half-time. I mean, they get to half-time and it's obviously it's half a job done. They've still got a big task on their hands, but they've only got 45 minutes to see out rather than the 90. I don't think there's a lot in the first half that would worry either manager. You get in there at half-time, and I suspect Ange will say pretty much as we were, let's go and do exactly the same again. And it's Bodø that are going to have to come out and try and create opportunities and score the goal. But in doing that, it'll leave gaps in the pace that Tottenham have got in this team, with Brennan Johnson, Richarlison, Kulusevski on the counter-attack and the turnover possession. They will get an opportunity.
Good job done by Tottenham so far. First leg of the quarter-final. Bodø Glimt beat Lazio 2-0. I watched that game, it could have been 5-0. Round before that, they beat Olympiacos 3-0. Don't forget, Olympiacos won the Europa Conference League last season. FC 20. They came here in the last 32. They were beaten 5-2 in the end after extra time. So they certainly took Bodø Glimt close, but Bodø Glimt pulled away in the end. They have a fantastic record here at home in Europe. Last 4 seasons of European football, they've won 28 of 35 home games. Tonight 0-0. Header won by Bentancur. The ball was already out of play for a Tottenham throw inside their own half on the right, and we're very nearly at half-time. So Ange Postecoglou, you think, will be pretty satisfied with the job his players have done so far.
I think they've done exactly what he will have told them before the game. The instructions, the tactics, the formation, the information he's put into his players between the weekend and now, what they'll have worked on, is exactly what they've carried out. But the problem for Tottenham is it's still a nervy 2-goal lead.
Hykin makes a mess of a difficult ball back to him there. High ball, steepling bounce inside his penalty area. Loose first touch. He then had to scramble back to the byline to try and keep it in play. And he's conceded a corner to Tottenham with a minute of added time just beginning.
He's taken too many chances for me, Hykin, in goal for Bodø at the back. Yes, they use him to build up from the play, but there's a couple of passes that he's got away with now, and he's overconfident, in all honesty. And with the pressure that Tottenham have got with Solanke and Johnson, the pace, and how quickly they can snap into a press, he's overconfident, the goalkeeper, and he's taking chances, and he's given Tottenham a corner in the last minute of the first half here.
Tottenham still very much in the middle of the butter, melting in the porridge. Porro's corner into the penalty, comes back to Bissouma, slices the shot wide with his left foot into the Bodø fans behind the goal. Goal kick for Bodø Glimt.
That's a chance. That really is a chance for Bissouma. He leans back, he lashes at it with his left foot. It's a really poor strike, really poor technique. Chances have been few and far between for Tottenham. At least keep it down, send it through a crowd of bodies at the goalkeeper, hit the target. That was poor from Bissouma.
Few seconds remaining in the first half. On the artificial pitch, goal kick is taken. Referee Mariani looks at his watch, blows his whistle. Tottenham fans away to our left, 400 of them, putting up with the cold and the rain. I think we'll be pretty happy with that. Tonight, half the job is done, Paul Robinson. 0-0 at half-time, they still lead 3-1 on aggregate.
Yeah, we don't know much more than we did from the start of the game, did we? I think there's 2 teams there that Tottenham have really cancelled Bodø out. They've not given really any opportunities. Vicario's not had any major saves to make. He's had the one free kick that was drifting to his top right-hand corner that he flipped over for a corner kick. The longer this game goes, Bodø are going to have to take chances. They're going to have to chase this game, which will in turn give Tottenham an opportunity on the change of possession, the counter-attack. For Ange Postecoglou, it's 45 minutes of exactly what we'd have wanted to see. icing on the cake for him would have been a 1-goal lead going in at half-time, but he will not be disappointed with that performance.
As it stands, Tottenham on their way to the Europa League final. Could it be redemption this season for Tottenham? So far, so good tonight. Half-time, Tottenham 0, Bodø Glimt 0.
Going to go straight to Ashton Gate, where there has been late drama at the end of the first half. Molly.
Bristol City 0, Sheffield United 1. Harrison Burrows puts Sheffield United 1-0 up from the penalty spot, sending Max O'Leary the wrong way. But not just that, the referee has issued a red card in the process. Rob Dickey wrapped his arms around Kiefer Moore in the box, which led to the penalty and in turn a red card. Bristol City are down to 10. It's Bristol City 0, Sheffield United 1.
They've been going at it all game as well, haven't they, Molly?
What a crazy match. I've got to say, there's been no shortness of intensity and generally attacking threat from both sides, Mark. It's been fluent in parts, but it's been frenetic in most of the parts. It's been a phenomenal game for the neutral, and this can only be the start of more drama, I'd suspect.
Very, very difficult for Bristol City, down to 10 and a goal down at home to the side who finished third in the Championship as they approach half-time at Ashton Gate. You would say, Paul Robinson, a little bit more attritional where you are.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the job well done from Tottenham's point of view, in all honesty. Just talking to Ali there when we're getting the update, saying we may as well start the game now. We don't know anything that we didn't know at the start of the game. For Tottenham, it's 45 minutes, job well done. We've reduced the time. We're still exactly where we are. We've got to get 45 minutes of the same and get out of here with a result. I think that they've done well in the first half. It's not been pretty. They've gone long from goal kicks. It's not the usual fluid, free playing football with the players bombing on. That defensive structure's in place. They're winning free kicks. They're slowing the game down. They're taking the time, and they're managing their way through the game without being overly convincing.
All right, Paul, Ali, thank you very much. Job well done, says Paul, for Tottenham in that first 45 minutes. Job not well done at Old Trafford, Ian Dennis.
Certainly makes for an interesting second half. I've got to say, though, it was a wonder goal from Harry Geether just after the half-hour mark. Maguire's loose pass fell to Jallo, who had a shot charged down, and Harry Geether has picked it up right-footed into the top right-hand corner, although Athletic Bilbao before that did have a couple of opportunities through Berenguer. And Manchester United, well, we were saying in the commentary on Sports Extra that the first goal was going to be interesting, and it gives Athletic Bilbao that glimmer of hope. And Manchester United didn't really create a worthwhile opportunity until just 2 minutes before half-time. Dorgu's through ball, perfectly weighted, Garnacho onto it, left-footed dink finish, ran wide of the left-hand post. But could have an interesting second half.
What do you make of that, Izzy Christensen?
Yeah, interesting. You kind of thought that Manchester United would have learned from the Lyon game how to see out a game, and obviously they come into this game 3-0 up. Now it's 3-1, and the incentive lies very much with Athletic Bilbao, because Manchester United, I think they've been a little bit sloppy. Phil's mentioned it a couple of times on commentary, rightly so, how Manchester United are just not using the ball to just absorb the enthusiasm away from Athletic Bilbao. And if you're thinking about the two dressing rooms right now, you've got Amrin probably calming the players down, and you've got Valverde who's geeing them up, and they'll be coming out rocking again in the second half.
Manchester United's problem seemed summed up with the Garnacho chance, Phil, really. I'm talking about this season, which is the approach play actually was decent. Dorgu's ball was decent, but they can't put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, it was a brilliant, well-worked opportunity, and we said there was going to be spaces to exploit, especially when Bilbao do come out and try and press high, and there was after the goal. He does have to finish it. He doesn't finish it off. There's been a couple of times where in attacking transitions there's been a 3v2 or a 2v1. They just haven't picked the right opportunity or the right pass or the right weight of ball at the right time. But there will be opportunities for Man United to exploit in the second half. There will be spaces, but I just worry about Mazraoui as well, who's on a yellow card. We're talking commentary that Casemiro's going to have to use his experience to help him out. I'm not sure whether he'll make a change at half-time. I know he's done that quite a lot throughout the season. So, listen, United will score. I'm sure they'll score, because there'll be big spaces, especially when Bilbao do have to come out and score another two. But it's not been the best of halves for Man United.
Are you sure? You're sure they'll score?
Positive.
Phil, Izzy, Ian, thank you very much. The second half of that will start on Sports Extra, but remember, we can go wherever the story is this evening, which isn't at Stamford Bridge, John Southall.
Definitely not.
I mean, there is a story there, but it's not very dramatic.
No, and it's been a bit like that for the last 6 months, I think, in the Conference League, hasn't it? Chelsea lead Djurgården there by 1-0. That is 5-1 on aggregate. Very comfortable first half. The goal 7 minutes before half-time. Tyreek George through ball, opened up for Kieran Dewsbury-Hall, did really well into the area. Shot came off the left post and into the bottom corner. There is no coming back from that for Djurgården. Their keepers made 2 good saves to deny Dewsbury-Hall and George. They've had one effort, a Kazuki deflected shot saved by Jorgensen. Interesting team setup for Chelsea. Mark Cucurella is playing alongside Reece James in that holding midfield role, and Reggie Walsh, the number 10, and he's done well, the 16-year-old. But Chelsea are Wroclaw bound for the final, surely. Half-time they lead 1-0, 5-1 on aggregate.
Have you got a monitor in front of you?
I have.
You could try and get Fiorentina Real Betis on that, and you could report on that for the second half, because that's cracking,
you're probably right, actually. I'll ask the technicians if they can change the Chelsea game for me to the Fiorentina one. I'm sure that'll go down really well.
Fiorentina 2, Real Betis 1 at half-time, so that is 3-3.
Be a good final.
3-3 on aggregate. It will, actually. 3-3 on aggregate in that other semi-final. Half-time whistle has gone at Ashton Gate as well. 10-man Bristol City 0, Sheffield United 1. 5-9, this is 5 Live. Here's Richard Foster.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Mark. Good evening. The world has its first American Pope. Robert Prevost is 69 years old. He was born in Chicago and he spent much of his career as a missionary in Peru. He's going to be known as Pope Leo XIV. Thousands of people cheered as he emerged onto the balcony and waved at the crowds at St. Peter's Square in the Vatican. He told them he wants to build bridges.
Fratelli, sorelle carissimi.
Dearest brothers and sisters, this is the first greeting of the risen Christ, the Good Shepherd, who gave his life for the flock of God. I too would like this greeting of peace to enter your hearts and reach your families, all peoples, wherever they may be, all nations, the whole earth. Peace be with you.
World leaders have been congratulating the new Pope. President Trump says it's a great honour to have an American pontiff. Miriam Diagnon campaigns for women's priests and told 5 Live that Leo XIV must change the Catholic Church.
Women are holding up the church. They are running parishes around the world. They're preparing people for sacraments. It is pure sexism that they are not allowed to then, conduct the baptisms, the funerals, the weddings. And it's such glaring sexism that I don't think this Pope has a choice.
Other stories this evening, and Sir Keir Starmer says a trade deal between the US and UK will be great for jobs and for prosperity. It means there'll be 0 tariffs on steel and aluminium exported from the UK to America. Cars will be taxed at 10% rather than 27.5%. Doctors say it's time to change our abortion laws after a woman was cleared of carrying out an illegal termination during the second COVID lockdown. Nicola Packer, who's 45, was found not guilty of aborting a pregnancy beyond the legal 10-week limit. She'd been accused of taking pills that cause a miscarriage at 26 weeks. Pubs are allowed to stay open for an extra 2 hours tonight so people can mark VE Day. Earlier, the King laid a wreath at a service at Westminster Abbey. And Bill Gates says he'll give away almost all his fortune over the next 20 years. His charity, the Gates Foundation, will spend around £150 billion on disease prevention and reducing poverty.
Hello, Russell Kane here. I'm back for another season of character assassinating the nice guy and bigging up the baddies in Evil Genius. Yep, even the biggest legends have their skeletons. So join me and a panel of brilliant comedians to weigh in on whether the biggest players in history are more evil or more genius.
I just think every celebrity, said with respect, Russell, is out of their minds.
Evil Genius with Russell Kane. Listen first on BBC Sounds. This is 5 Live Sports
with Mark Chapman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Bodø Glimt 0, Tottenham 0 at the break. Tottenham still lead 3-1 on aggregate. Manchester United 0, Athletic Club 1. At the break, United 3-1 up on aggregate. Chelsea lead Djurgården by a goal to 0, and Bristol City 0, Sheffield United 1 at half-time in the first leg of the Championship playoff semi-final, and Bristol City are down to 10 as well. So Maro Itoje is captain of the Lions for the tour of Australia. At fly half, Andy Farrell has selected Finn Russell, Finn Smith and Marcus Smith. So no Ireland's Sam Prendergast. Also missing out, Caelan Doris and Robbie Henshaw. Here's the view of former Lions and Ireland captain Brian O'Driscoll.
I'm sure it will take them a while to get over the disappointment, and obviously they're the guys from Ireland. I'm sure there's countless other people in both the UK and Ireland, and indeed in France at the moment, the likes of Jack Willis, that would have been a bit disappointed. But unfortunately that's sport. Probably the most brutal one is for Caelan, because you would have thought that he was a shoo-in for inclusion, but it hasn't gone Robbie's way. He's been on previous tours and been a successful test player, and so it's unfortunate for him. And from Sam's point of view, his time will come. He's still only a very young guy. He's still learning his trade and what it takes to kind of boss a team. And I think it's just one tour too soon for him. In 4 years' time, he'll be an infinitely different player with way more experience, way more know-how, and way more air miles to get a sense as to how to navigate a team of unknowns. So yeah, I think all of them will kind of be disappointed, and they have to own that. But unfortunately, it's only a squad at 38, and there lies an issue in every team.
So that was Brian O'Driscoll. Let's speak to former Lion as well, Shane Horgan. Evening.
Evening.
So, shall we revisit Monday's show and what we talked about with Sam Prendergast when you said you couldn't see Farrell not taking an Irish 10 on this tour?
I had a feeling you might be bringing that up, Mark. Well, I'll give you my response. So I was messaging while the announcement was being made, or after it was made. I was announcing my friend and former teammate Dennis Hickey, and I said, "Geez, it's going to be tricky for Andy Farrell to go back to Ireland camp having picked an Irish 10." And he said it's hard. It's going to be harder for him to go back to his own house to face the mother of his son not having picked him. So he's obviously not afraid to make hard choices in life.
But one of the interesting points that you made on Monday night was, look, I know Prendergast has been up and down a bit, and obviously Finn Smith outplayed him at the weekend in the Leinster-Northampton semi-final. But the point that made so much sense on Monday night was having someone who knows how Farrell wants to play as a 10, even if he isn't going to start games, but to help the process of getting this squad to gel.
And I think that's why I am slightly surprised. But what it's come down to is the fact that I don't think he could pick him after his defensive display at the weekend. There has been murmurings in the background ever since he came into Ireland saying he's not defensively there, and he had in effect a disastrous defensive game. So I don't think that can outweigh what he wants from a systematic perspective. And actually, Dawes made a really good point, saying, well, needs that less because he's got Johnny Sexton in the coaching team, and I think that's a big role for Johnny.
And the other thing, which we also discovered as we were going through it on Monday night, is versatility plays a massive part here. So in Marcus Smith, he has a versatility there. In some of his other, so like Elliot Daly's a prime example as well, isn't he? And there is a versatility there.
Yeah, I think that did surprise me a bit. Less Marcus Smith, maybe, but just because of the impact he can have, and maybe more Elliot Daly. But listen, Elliot Daly is a stellar player. He's got a real Rolls Royce of a player and can literally slot in, I think, just about anywhere across the back line apart from 9. So I think with it's not that it's a small squad, but I think he wants to use the players that he's bringing on tour, and I think he does need some of those players that can cover a number of positions, and we've seen that both in the forwards, especially in the back row and second rows and the backs as well.
Is there anything else very quickly that stood out for you with the teams heading back out in Norway?
Just listen, it's some disappointment for Ireland with Henshaw not getting picked either, but generally from an Ireland perspective, a record number of Irish players on the tour 15, which is kind of remarkable for Ireland. Go back to the 1990s, and we're kind of lucky to get someone on. So there's been a huge Irish rugby demonstrated by that. And Mark, I can only say it's we're set for success with that many Irishmen on the tour.
Shane, thank you. Lovely to talk to you. Talk to you soon. Shane Horgan with us on 5 Live Sports. So Manchester United, a goal down at home to Athletic Club. That is on Sports Extra for you at the moment. If that develops into more of a story, it may switch here to 5 Live. We're going to head back to Bodø Glimt against Tottenham. Paul Robinson, Alistair Bruce Ball are there in what on my screen looks like it could be deep, darkest November night where you are.
It feels like it as well, Mark, and Paul just made the point. We're both on early flights in the morning. I tell you what, the airport runway is a stone's throw from this football ground. You can walk everywhere in Bodø. We walked from the airport to the hotel. We walked to the stadium tonight. But I tell you what, flying through some of these mists and these clouds that are rolling in over the roofs of the stands here at the moment would be slightly tricky, although I have to say it's definitely not affecting play. I mean, we've got a clear view. There's not a problem here.
Just how quickly it just came in, though, isn't it? I mean, when we first got here tonight, 3 hours before the kickoff, it's a lovely setting. You can see the hills, the mountains in the background, the snow-capped mountains, and then all of a sudden, as the weather started to come in, you can see less and less of a view. Now it's thick fog and that really thin, fine rain, and it's a really dank, wet, freezing cold evening, isn't it?
Second half is back underway, 0-0 on the night. Good news for Tottenham, that is, they lead 3-1 from the first leg. They have sapped some of the belief, I would say, out of the Bodø Glimt fans. But as you can hear, the chants starting up again of Bodø Glimt, Bodø Glimt. It will only take one goal, you know that, and this place will go absolutely nuts. The locals call it Bodø. It is Bodø to the locals. We call it Bodø Glimt, and I have checked with our colleagues from Norway who do the commentary. That is absolutely fine for us.
Is this like Brugge and Bruges?
And it's like Jan Molby. I think if you said his name properly, so Ian Dennis was saying this on the Commentators View podcast this week, it would be Jan Molbu, but we don't say Jan Molbu, we say Jan Molby, so we say Bodø Glimt. They say Bodø Glimt, but the crucial thing at the moment is that it's 0-0 on the night. Tottenham lead 3-1 on aggregate, and as Mark says, if the story switches to Old Trafford, say Manchester United concede another, go 2-0 down on the night, maybe Tottenham score first here, we do have the ability to switch the games. One goes to Sports Extra, the other goes to 5 Live. Solanke getting down the left, great work by the Tottenham centre forward, good hard running, gets the cross in, it's blocked, goes behind for a Tottenham corner.
Can't underplay how big the first goal in this game is, and the longer the game goes, the first goal becomes even more important. You think for Tottenham, if they get it and go 4-1 ahead, that's it, job done. Quieten down the crowd, take the frustration out of the home fans. If Bodø get it, then you can imagine what this place is going to be like, and that will filter down to the pitch.
Tottenham in the dark green change kit, playing from left to right. Our commentary position is one side of the halfway line, and we are closer now to the goal to our right that Tottenham are attacking. There's a modern rectangular building above the stands behind that goal. Cross comes in. Overhead attempt from Solanke, doesn't make contact with the ball. Evjen chases it to the left. Berg tries to keep it in. The assistant referee says the whole ball crossed the line. Bodø Glimt fans don't agree, give him heaps. That's going to be a throw-in for Tottenham on the right. Tottenham team, Vicario in goal, Porro, Romero, Van de Ven, Udogi, Bissouma and Bentancur, Johnson, Kulusevski, Richarlison, and Dominic Solanke, who wasn't moving all that well towards the end of the first half, back out there, started the second half. Defenders' arms all over him as he challenges for that header. Bodø Glimt get it away for now. Porro has it on the right, tries an early cross into the box. Solanke stretches, can't control that. Chance for young Schürrle to bring it away from right back. Richarlison is pulling and pushing and making life awkward for him, but he gets it to Buurkan on the left. So Bodø Glimt have Nikita Häkkinen in goal, Fredrik Schürrle, Brede Mo, Jostein Gundersen, Fredrik Buurkan as their back four. Patrick Berg, Hakon Evjen, Ulrik Saltnes, the midfield three. Ola Blumberg, Jens Petter Hauge, the wide men, with the Danish centre forward Kasper Høeg, the number 9, through the middle. They're all in bright yellow. Their move has broken down the right, and Tottenham have a throw. And again, they're frustrating Bodø Glimt. They're doing the professional job. They're taking their time over the restarts. Not, keeping it within the boundaries, aren't they, Paul? But you can just feel the annoyance building on the pitch and in the stands.
Yeah, it's not pretty from Tottenham, but they've come here to do a job. And as we said, the way that the team's set up defensively when they're out of possession, it's unusual for an Ange Postecoglou team. In possession, they press high as a unit.
Ball forward from Hauge, blocked on the halfway line. Up in the air it goes. Kulusevski tries to get a foot in, so it's Kulusevski in for Maddison tonight. James Maddison, a definite miss given the way he played in the first leg, although I was looking back at the last time Tottenham made it through to what was then the UEFA Cup final back in 1984. They eventually won it over 2 legs on penalties against Anderlecht in the semi-final. They were missing Glenn Hoddle and Garth Crooks. this year in the semi-final. They're missing James Maddison and Son Heung-min, so you could draw parallels there. I'm not saying James Maddison was as good as Glenn Hoddle. Here's Hauge. Little flick pass into the Tottenham area. Bjorkan tries to control it. Challenge on him comes from Bentancur, who sensed the danger. Out it goes for a Tottenham throw because Bjorkan got the last touch. So throw in deep in Tottenham territory. And we've seen plenty of the Tottenham fans over here on our trip so far. 400 of them, lucky 400 who've made the trip and got the tickets, making a great noise away to the left and desperately hoping their team can make it through to the final of this competition for the first time since '84.
It's an incredible experience, isn't it? I mean, you come for the football matches and you travel all over Europe, but it's not often you go and watch a football match that's actually north of the Arctic Circle. It's not an easy place to get to. The scenery and the surroundings are something spectacular, and for those lucky 400 Tottenham fans, one, they get to see their team play in the semi-final of a major European competition, but in such a beautiful place.
Hauge on the left for Bodø Glimt. Danger will come Tottenham's way, and it's coming right now. Here's Bjorkan. If Bodø Glimt get the first goal in this half, then all bets are off. Crossing to the penalty area, takes a touch. Vicario down low to his left. Tottenham haven't quite got this away yet. Richarlison's back there, leaps in the air, athletically volleys the ball away on the bounce, and it goes out for a throw into Bodø Glimt.
They got lucky there, Tottenham, they really did. Vicario didn't have a clue where that was. It was a wonderfully flighted ball in from this left-hand side with the right foot. Vicario got messed up underneath his defenders. They all missed it. In the end, Tottenham managed to smuggle it away somehow, but the goalkeeper had no idea where that ball was in his 6-yard box.
Really momentum building in the second half for Bodø Glimt. Hauge's pass goes astray. Gundersen is there, the centre-back, high up inside the Tottenham half. Bjorkan lays it off to Evjen, gets it back to Bjorkan. Loose touch from him. Johnson makes a challenge. Ball falls at Brennan Johnson's feet, and on the half volley he sends a high spinning clearance up to the halfway line. Tottenham can't hold on to the ball at the moment, under a little bit of pressure early on in the second half. 6 minutes in, still 0-0 on the night. Tottenham still leading 3-1 from the first leg. Soutness into the feet of Evjens, giving the ball away. Here's Richarlison for Tottenham. Turns 360 degrees. Rash challenge from Blumberg. Richarlison will accept that. He'll accept the pain. He'll accept the knock. He's won the free kick. He stays down with his face buried in the artificial turf, as far as you can bury your face in a 4G pitch.
Yeah, the longer this game goes, Bodø are going to dominate possession. This second half started pretty much in the same fashion as the first one ended. Saw the stats at half-time, 64% possession to the home side, which isn't unusual, but Tottenham, they're a team that do like the ball. They're sitting deeper and deeper, they're allowing the home side possession, but it's all possession in front of Tottenham's defence, which at the moment they're quite happy with.
Free kick for Tottenham just inside the Bodø Glimt half. Romero again delaying, takes it, finds Van der Ven. Richarlison, first time ball, spinning up in the air, looking for Udogie. Now finds Solanke with the cutback, blocked again at the near post. Another Tottenham corner.
Yeah, good play down the left hand side. Quick, decisive play. Richarlison, Udogie, reverse back to Richarlison, who in turn just lots of lovely ball in between the back four of Bodø into Solanke on his unfavoured left foot. Manages to get the shot off, but wins his team a corner. Pedro Porro just ambling, I think you can call it, to get the ball to take the corner.
Manchester United 0, Athletic Bilbao 1. Commentary of that one over on Sports Extra. Ian Dennis, Izzy Christensen, Phil Jones are there. Manchester United leading 3-1 on aggregate. Chelsea 1 up at home against Djurgårdens, 5-1 up. 1-0 up on the night, 5-1 on aggregate. Corner in from Porro, headed over his own bar by the centre-forward Kasper Høeg, so that will go behind for another Tottenham corner. Before that corner, let's take you to Old Trafford. Here's Ian Dennis.
9 minutes into the second half. Athletic Bilbao have started in a confident fashion in the second half. They still lead by a goal to 0 on the night through Hauragitha's effort after 31 minutes. But Manchester United are 3-1 up on aggregate.
Yeah, Chelsea 5-1 up on aggregate. Fiorentina lead Real Betis 2-1 in the other Europa Conference League semi-final. That is 3-3 on aggregate. Porro takes the corner short on the right, finds Kulusevski, low ball into the near post. Johnson lets that go, hoping it might just sneak in and fool the goalkeeper. Bodø Glimt start to bring it away. Pass back here to Soutness. Soutness, clever turn into the feet of Blumberg. He was wearing blue boots in the first half. He's changed them. They're a light red now. He's been tackled here by Bissouma. Forward to Romero, still forward in the attack, holds onto the ball for Tottenham, back to Johnson. His pass goes out of play, throw in for Bodø Glimt. 9 minutes gone, second half. To remind you again, Manchester United, Athletic Bilbao. Commentary is over on Sports Extra. Sheffield United 1 up against 10-man Bristol City as well at Ashton Gate, first leg of the Championship playoff semi-finals. Here's Gundersen, left-sided centre-back for Bodø Glimt. Again, spray of water goes flying as his low pass goes zipping across the pitch. Schervel's got Richarlison in front of him, plays it to Breda Mo. Solanke tries to make the challenge, fouls Mo, I think. Free kick for Bodø Glimt, but Tottenham still chasing, still pressing, still making it very hard.
They're quite happy to commit fouls in that area of the pitch, halfway into the opposition's half. Solanke chasing hard, Richarlison chasing. Solanke, you can see, gets the wrong side of the Bodø Glimt defender. Quite happy to take him down and concede the free kick in those areas.
Right, 10 minutes into the second half, we've decided it's scarf twirling time inside this stadium. So you've got 8,000 Bodø Glimt fans, all in bright yellow, in their floppy yellow hats with the yellow and black scarves twirling above their heads. They've given the ball away. Chance for Richarlison inside the penalty area, stopped in his tracks. Berg is there, low pass from him out of the box to Blumberg on the right. Strong challenge by Van de Ven, wins the ball cleanly. He's up on his feet, charging down the left-hand side, then completely mishits the cross, off balance, and it goes behind for the goal kick to Bodø Glimt.
Excellent challenge by Van de Ven, snapped into the tackle really quickly, got into a good area wide left of the penalty box for Tottenham. Just slices his cross as he's falling over, but again, good high pressure from Tottenham. Richarlison gets himself in a good position, and then they win the ball back high up the field.
On air through until 10:30 tonight UK time on BBC Radio 5 Live, BBC Radio London. Their listeners have joined us this evening as well. Clever flick here to Saltness. Hauger with speed, getting away down the left. Bissouma has tracked him for Tottenham. Excited Bodø Glimt fans are on their feet. Tottenham break play up. Here's Kulusevski looking for the ball to Porro. Couldn't find a way through with that one. And now the free kick goes to Bodø Glimt, middle of the Tottenham half, taken very quickly. Is the referee going to allow that? No. He's going to ask Patrick Berg to bring it back. So now fans are standing, scarves are twirling. Quite difficult to see what's going on away to the left-hand side. Hauger's cross in towards the far post. Good leap by Van de Ven, wins the header. Udogi nods it ahead of him, tries to chase that, blocked, and loses the ball. And Patrick Berg plays it to Schervel back to the halfway line and Breda Mo. Bodø Glimt 0, Tottenham 0. Tottenham still leading 3-1 on aggregate, and as it stands, with Manchester United 1-0 down against Athletic Bilbao, we are still heading towards an all-English Europa League final in Bilbao on the 21st of May. Bissouma slipped, lost possession for a second. Solanke absolutely whacks a pass back to Brennan Johnson, did well to chest that down, lofts a pass high into the air. Solanke underneath it, he's lost it. Berg plays to his right, Saltness, Bentancur quickly in with the challenge. Bodø Glimt have the ball again. Berg plays to his left, Bjørkan goes wide to Hauger. Hauger's pass with pace to Saltness, but Bissouma is there again to intercept. Plays back to Vicario. Here's Bentancur in the right back position for Tottenham. Just clips a little pass into the feet of Porro, and Porro's looking to get Richarlison away. Long ball over the top, skids twice on the artificial surface, and here's Richarlison in the Norway miss. Lazy right-footed cross is blocked. Bodø Glimt intercept. Suddenly we're going end to end. That sparked the Bodø fans to get back on their feet and start twirling the scarves again, knocking the ball around inside their own half. Here's Gundersen. Solanke still running hard, looking a little tired in the early stages of the second half. Now Hauger on the left-hand side, works it onto his right foot, edge of the box, challenge on Evjen, no foul, play continues. Here's Bjørkan, cross into the far post, is attacked, and it's spooned up in the air, still inside the Tottenham penalty area, volleyed away. Solanke wrestling with Breda Mo. Foul is given to Solanke. That is a free kick to Tottenham, must take it to Ashton Gate. Bristol City against Sheffield United in the playoffs. Molly Stevens.
Sheffield United still lead by a goal to nil. A far more settled start to the early stages of this second half, evenly matched as the 10 men of Bristol City embark on their uphill battle to get back into this one. It's Bristol City 0, Sheffield United 1.
Thank you, Molly. All the reaction and analysis to tonight's football in the Football Daily podcast. That'll be there for you on the BBC Sounds app. The Rugby Union weekly podcast already up with all the reaction to the Lions squad announced today. Paul Robinson.
Yeah, it's been a decent start to this second half again by Tottenham. As we glance over, Bodø just about to make two substitutions. You did wonder at what point in the game they would look to shuffle their pack. From Tottenham's point of view, at the moment, job well done. It was a wonderful ball earlier on over the top by Pedro Porro, over the top to Richarlison, and that's what they've got on the break, Tottenham. They've got that threat of the pace, and in turn it was a good piece of defending at the other end by Udogi from the cross from Saltness.
Not the prettiest game, not the most exciting game, but Tottenham fans will not care a jot. 0-0, 14 minutes into the second half. Tottenham throw finds Richarlison. He's inside the Bodø Glimt penalty area, looking to win a corner, keeps the ball, keeps it in play. Udogie's cross is now blocked. Up in the air it goes. Berg heads it away. Double header gets it clear to the edge of the box. Bentancur tries to hit a very ambitious shot on the bounce and knocks it high in the air and behind for the goal kick.
Yeah, not a very good strike by Bentancur. Again, it's good work by Richarlison. He's done well since he's come back into the team, Richarlison, playing on that left-hand side. There's one thing that you always get with him, his attitude, application, the work rate that he gives you, and he sets the tone for the rest of the team, and he's done that tonight as Richarlison.
Kasper Høeg is coming off, the centre forward for Bodø Glimt. He's going to be replaced by Andreas Helmersson, who was suspended for the first leg, having scored a crucial goal in extra time against Lazio to take that tie to penalties that got Bodø Glimt through to this one. Second change is being made. While they do that, Sondre Sørli is coming on for Bodø Glimt. Let's take it to Stamford Bridge. John Southwell watching Chelsea against Djurgårdens.
Where Chelsea lead Djurgården by 1-0, 5-1 on aggregate. Just a procession now in this second half. We've just seen a bit of a sitter miss by Tyreek George 2 yards out. He bundled into the back of the net. He's just dusted himself down. But Chelsea are heading to the final, 1-0 on the night, 5-1 on aggregate.
Matthijs Tel has come on for Tottenham here, and Richarlison has gone off. The stadium has fallen silent for a second. So Manchester United, Tottenham and Chelsea all heading through to European finals tonight. Arsenal, of course, going out last night against Paris Saint-Germain. We're going to have a Champions League final between Inter Milan and Paris Saint-Germain. Helmersson chests the ball down. He's robbed on the halfway line. Good, strong running from Basuma here. Still going for Tottenham, maybe lining himself up for the shot. Rolls it to his right to Brennan Johnson. Then Basuma again, little 1-2. They've been forced wide to the right-hand side. Porro then swings a right foot at the ball, whips his pass back to Romero, and Romero across to Van de Ven. Low pass from him to Udogie. Udogie wants Tel to speed off down the left-hand side. Tel was coming back towards him. Schervel gets that ball first, under pressure, can only turn and knock it out for a Tottenham throw.
I'm surprised he's taken Richarlison off, because I think he's been one of Tottenham's better players, both defensively and offensively. He's got that threat of pace over the top, but Tel may be slightly quicker, and Ange Postecoglou, you may have seen an opportunity there with Bodø pushing, leaving space for Richarlison. Tel maybe with that extra yard of pace might cause them more of a problem.
Sondre Sørli came on for Ola Blumberg for Bodø Glimt, so that was their double change. Matthijs Tel on for Richarlison, and still looking good for Tottenham at the moment in what's been a pretty woeful season for them, you have to say. Still in the hunt for a first trophy since 2008 and heading towards a Europa League final against Manchester United. Bodø Glimt with a terrible pass back to their goalkeeper Hiking, no chance of controlling that. Tottenham have won a corner, absolutely gifted to them.
Good pressing again by Dominic Solanke. That's what Tottenham has done in this second half. They've set out the stall. They've got enough players that are playing high up the pitch in Kulusevski, Johnson, Solanke and Tel now. And those four players, they do set the press high, put the pressure on this Bodø back four, who do like to use the goalkeeper and overuse the goalkeeper at times. And that was the perfect example of that. Goalkeeper made a mess of it, and Spurs have got another corner.
Bodø Glimt fans baying for the referee to take action here as Tottenham finally get that corner into the far post, headed down by Romero and knocked over the goal line by Dominic Solanke. Potentially the hero for Tottenham in northern Norway tonight. Could that be the goal that seals the deal? Will it be the goal that takes them through to the Europa League final? Romero's header, Solanke's touch, Bodø Glimt 0, Tottenham 1, Tottenham lead 4-1 on aggregate.
Well, 400 Spurs fans to our left, all dressed in blue and white scarves, are making the most noise inside the stadium now. It's a really simply worked set play for Tottenham, and the players below are celebrating. They know how important that goal is. Dominic Solanke being picked up and hugged by every one of his teammates, celebrating in front of the Bodø home fans. It's whipped in by Tel to the far post. Romero round the back. It's a fantastic leap by Romero. He heads it back across goal, and Solanke's there poaching, slides in front of the goalkeeper, in front of the defender on the line, and from 2 yards out gives Ange Postecoglou and his Tottenham teammates and staff something to celebrate. Surely now that's enough for Tottenham.
Yeah, do you think those Tottenham fans are going to need any more reassurance, Paul?
Oh, possibly. The ones that I spoke to this morning definitely did.
They were nervous. Nerves eased a little. Bodø Glimt now need 3 goals here. 3 goals. to get 3-1 in front and take us to extra time. They immediately come storming into an attack, but Evjen blocked, his path blocked by Romero, who created the goal for Solanke. Here's Surley, the substitute, over on the right. Brilliant tackle by Udogie. Tottenham in the move now. Green shirts flying forward. Udogie still with the ball at his feet. Down the line to Tell. They've lost it. Back it comes towards Solanke. Stretches out a right foot. He can't control it. And Bodø Glimt have just absolutely got to go for it now, Paul.
They've got no option. And it's, by the way, look at the clock. We're on 65 minutes already. How quickly is this second half gone? Tottenham, like you said, what you summed it up absolutely perfect earlier. It's not pretty. It's not been nice. It's not been a great watch. But they've got a job done so far. The way that they've defended, the way that they've broken the game up, the way that they've played under Ange Postecoglou this season isn't a replica of what we're seeing tonight. They've been hard to beat. They've not been a nice team to play against. And they've got the goal, from all things, a set play. A deep ball into Romero. And it was all about Romero around the back post. Heads it down to Solanke. And it looks now like Tottenham might have done enough.
They've won a free kick inside their own half. I think we're heading to Old Trafford, Ian Dennis.
66 minutes played. Manchester United still trail by a goal to nil on the night, but they lead 3-1 on aggregate. Athletic Bilbao are making more attacking changes. They almost got a second. Unai Núñez with a far post header that almost crept in. Amad Diallo is on for Manchester United. 1-0 to the Spanish side on the night, but United lead 3-1 on aggregate.
Tottenham's goalkeeper Vicario is booked. Referee has had enough of the time wasting from Tottenham. Vicario gets the yellow card, takes the free kick up towards Solanke. Berg takes it off him, plays it to his left-hand side. Bodø Glimt have been so resilient, so determined, so strong in this competition, but goodness me, they're up against it now. 25 minutes to play. They've got to find themselves 3 goals just to take this tie to extra time.
Vicario getting booked there. That was probably the quickest that he's taken a free kick the whole game.
Yes.
Referee's given himself a problem now with 25 minutes to go. He's already booked the Tottenham goalkeeper. Take a very brave referee to give him a second one. I've never seen it.
They never do it.
Nope, he's given himself a long time as well, now, hasn't he?
Yeah, and the Bodø fans will be right on top of him as well. Don't know what happens to the sort of closing times of the bars and restaurants tonight, Paul, if Tottenham win here. It might be slightly trickier, I think, for the Tottenham fans to find a celebratory drink. They lead 1-0 on the night. Dominic Solanke scored a penalty in the first leg, has got a crucial touch 2 yards from goal here in the second leg. Brennan Johnson is sitting down. Tottenham are waiting to make another change. Pap Sarr is getting ready to come onto the field for Tottenham, for Brennan Johnson, who is down, and the referee has actually come over to Brennan Johnson, hauled him to his feet, and he's sending him over to our side of the field and telling him he's going to have to run the gauntlet slightly here. Physio comes over. Bodø fans thought that Johnson was going to sit down again to have treatment administered. He doesn't. He's taken a bottle off him. He's moving off the pitch now, and so Pap Sarr is coming on and Brennan Johnson is coming off. And Brennan Johnson, one of those Tottenham players dreaming about a European final for Tottenham. They are so close they can almost taste it.
And that is unlike an Ange Postecoglou substitution as well. That's a defensive change. You know, Johnson going off. Pap Sarr will now sit alongside Bentancur, Basuma in a low line midfield 3. We had Kulusevski in behind Solanke and Richarlison. Tell now obviously has come on, but now with Pap Sarr coming on, it's a real defensive midfield 3. Kulusevski will probably come out to this right hand side, which he is doing now as we speak. Tell on the left and Solanke through the middle.
Well, if Tottenham do end up going into extra time or even losing this tie in Norway, you would say they'd be standing with their beards in the post box. That is to end up in a stupid situation that you could have so easily avoided. Tottenham are in great shape here. Midway through the second half, mist rolling in, just feels ever so slightly colder as well, but they lead 1-0 on the night, 4-1 on aggregate. Manchester United 1-0 down against Athletic Bilbao at Old Trafford, but won that first leg 3-0, so still have a 2-goal cushion in the tie. That's why we're heading towards Manchester United against Tottenham in Bilbao on May the 21st for the Europa League trophy, but also for a place in the Champions League next season. Hauger, driving run from the left-hand side. Kulusevski's not got the energy to stay with him. Basuma again in the way for Tottenham. Tell, great pace here down the left-hand side from Udogie. Udogie's got those players in the yellow shirts. Backpedaling now across to Sarr, the substitute. Kulusevski receives the ball, rolls it to Porro. Porro's cross could end up going in. It does go in. That will be that for Tottenham tonight. I don't know if he meant it. The Tottenham fans won't care. They are heading to Bilbao for a Europa League final. 2-0 they lead on the night, 5-1 on aggregate.
Dare we say it, Tottenham are going to the final, and it's the most unlikely source. It's Pedro Porro, the right back. He's pushing on, supporting the play. Ball comes to him, he puts it in. First time, he comes off the edge of his instep, goes over the goalkeeper's head, right in front of us. You can see from the minute that it leaves Pedro Porro's boot, it's heading towards that top corner. You can see it's done hiking, all ends up, gone over the goalkeeper's head, into the far top right-hand corner, and put Tottenham Hotspur 2-0 up.
Bodø Glimt players are encouraging the Tottenham players to stop the celebrations and get back to the halfway line. They now need 4 goals in the last 20 minutes of this game to try and take it to extra time. Jostein Gundersen is making the point to Christian Romero. The two centre-backs shoulder to shoulder. Gundersen annoyed, shoves Romero away. Referee steps in to separate it, but Bodø Glimt think both goals have been over-celebrated. Ange Postecoglou, not only the relief, but the joy he must be feeling. What a tough season he's had as the Tottenham boss. But he has Tottenham 2-0 in front tonight. 5-1 they lead on aggregate, and they are heading towards a final.
Frustration from the Bodø players. Why can't they celebrate a goal? They've scored 2 fantastic goals that looks like it's going to put their team into a European Cup final.
Right, what about Manchester United at Old Trafford? Ian Dennis.
Manchester United have just equalised with 18 minutes remaining, and like Tottenham Hotspur, lead by 4-1 on aggregate. And Mason Mount, who only scored his first goal of the season at Brentford at the weekend, with a lovely turn and shot, right-footed, curling past Aguirre-Zabala.
It's an absolutely exquisite finish from Mason Mount. He's just celebrating with the fans because that is such a big goal for him and for this football club. He arrives into the box, he receives it on the second phase, and the turn and the finish is simply exquisite. A moment of pure brilliance in a tight area. The first touch, wow, and then he just finds that far corner. It's absolutely delightful.
Ali, Old Trafford is buzzing, and they're heading back to Bilbao.
Tottenham fans buzzing in Bodø too. It's going to be Manchester United against Tottenham, surely, in Bilbao, just under 2 weeks' time, playing for the Europa League trophy and a place in the Champions League next season. A 6th all-English final in European competition. The first 1972, Tottenham beat Wolves on aggregate to win the UEFA Cup. Manchester United beat Chelsea on penalties, Champions League final 2008. Tottenham, of course, lost the Champions League final to Liverpool 2019. Same season, Chelsea beat Arsenal in the Europa League. And 4 years ago now, Chelsea beat Manchester City in the 2021 Champions League final. We're headed for another, and Chelsea are headed for the Europa Conference League final as well. Leading Djurgårdens tonight, comfortably ahead on aggregate. Solanke chasing again down the inside left channel, followed by Gundersen. Great performance, Paul. We shouldn't underestimate this by Tottenham, because in the build-up we were talking about it, the unfamiliarity of the surroundings, the difficult pitch, Bodø Glimt's incredible home record, the late goal they got, the confidence they had, and Tottenham have come here and dealt with that superbly. Udogie is challenged, the ball runs out of play. It'll be a Bodø Glimt throw in the right back position.
For all the poor performances that Tottenham have had this season, the 19 defeats in the Premier League, we've criticised Ange Postecoglou weekly at times, the way that Tottenham are playing, the goals that they've been conceding, how susceptible defensively they are. They play one way and they don't play another way, and they just continually lose playing the way that they have been doing under Postecoglou. But in the Eintracht Frankfurt game and in this game tonight, they've shown a strong underbelly. They've shown a side to them that we've not seen all season. This resilience, this determination not to be beat, this work ethic, the team ethic. It's a different Tottenham to what I've seen for the rest of the season in the Premier League in those 2 performances. They've been good tonight. It's not been pretty. It's been workmanlike. It's been effective. It's been organised, and they've got the goals at crucial times.
Bodø Glimt made a double change, by the way, while we were listening to news of the Mason Mount goal at Old Trafford. Villads Nielsen, young centre-back, on for Breda Mo, and Sondre Otland came on in the midfield for Ulrik Saltnes. Tottenham player down. I think that's Christian Romero. The referee wants to stop the game. The Bodø fans don't believe he's injured. The annoyance building within the stands again. What a run they have had in Europe this season. 21 games they've played in European competition, won 9 out of 10 at home, and here are Tottenham leading Bodø Glimt by 2-0. We're waiting for the game to restart. By the way, Paul, one thing I'm not going to do remember the famous Norwegian commentator, early 80s, when Norway beat England? Bjørge Lillelian, I think his name was, and he gave it the old Clement Attlee, Maggie Thatcher, your boys have taken one hell of a beating. I was thinking about that if Tottenham got the job done tonight. So we came up with a bit of Erling Haaland, Henrik Ibsen, Morten Harket, but considering we're surrounded by hundreds and hundreds of Bodø Glimt fans, I think probably best.
Yeah, we're not sat in the right place for that, are we?
To go down that route. One of the most famous bits of football commentary. Tell chasing a ball down the left for Tottenham. That's run out of play. They're trying to shut this game down now. 15 minutes to play. 5-1 on aggregate. And given the season Tottenham have had, it could still end in glory for them. Bristol City, Sheffield United, Championship playoff semi-final, first leg. Molly Stevens.
Well, you'd think that's job done for Sheffield United now. Sheffield United 2, Bristol City 0 here at Ashton Gate. A 2-0 lead thanks to Andre Brooks, who rifles the ball into the back of the net. Bristol City is a long way back from here for the 10 men of Bristol City. Bristol City 0, Sheffield United 2.
Coventry against Sunderland tomorrow, first leg of their semi-final. Tottenham leading 2-0. Goals from Dominic Solanke from close range and the Pedro Porro cross. What a view we had of that from our commentary position, right on the angle with it. Did he mean it?
No, fluke. Absolute fluke. I mean, I don't even think that he'd have the audacity to tell you that he meant it. I mean, it was, you can't blame the pitch for it because it's a beautifully smooth pitch. It came to him. He just caught it wrong off his instep, came off the wrong part of his foot, and immediately, as soon as it left his foot, you could see it flying over the goalkeeper's head into that far top right-hand corner, hit the inside of the post and bounced into the net. And the celebrations which ensued, that obviously upset the home fans behind the goal, didn't it?
Manchester United 1, Athletic Bilbao 1. Commentary continues over on Radio 5 Sports Extra. So Manchester United 4-1 ahead on aggregate. Tottenham Hotspur 5-1 ahead on aggregate. 2-0 up in northern Norway. The mists are getting thicker and lower, creeping towards this pitch, and Bodø Glimt still running hard, still trying absolutely everything, but surely the game must be up for them. Bentancur again, good defensive work for Tottenham, steps in, not only wins the ball, but he's actually then tackled and it goes behind for the Tottenham goal kick.
Yeah, Vicario immediately goes around the back of the net to try and pick another ball up. That new tactic that a lot of teams are using, get 2 balls on the pitch, that'll slow the game down very quickly. He's done well tonight, Vicario. He's not had a lot to do. Concentration is the key for him now, as well as the rest of the Spurs players. We're into the last 15 minutes, vitally important. It's all about concentration now, managing your way to the end of this game. This is it, job done. You're 5-1 up with less than 15 minutes to go. See your way through, don't pick up any injuries, and make sure you keep that 0 by the side of your name for as long as you possibly can.
Floodlights shining through the mist in Bodø. Manchester United heading towards a 9th European final. Tottenham heading towards a 6th. Chelsea heading towards an 8th. We'll have commentary in Bilbao, May the 21st. What looks like almost certainly now is going to be Manchester United against Tottenham in the Europa League. And Chelsea, they're going through in the Europa Conference League, but it is still Fiorentina 2, Real Betis 1 in the second leg of the other semi-final, 3-3 on aggregate. Don't forget Fiorentina, the team that have lost the last 2 Conference League finals, 2 years ago against West Ham, last year against Olympiacos. Kulusevski now, good strength, down the right, 3 yellow shirts around him. They take the ball off him, he's happy with that. He's won Tottenham a throw on the right.
They don't have to do anything special, Tottenham. When they've got the ball like that, run into areas, the Bodø players will soon close you down, soon try and snap into the tackle, get a throw in, get a set play, exactly what Kulusevski did.
Back to Old Trafford, Ian Dennis.
Second leg, and Bilbao beckons for Manchester United. They've turned it around, they lead Athletic Bilbao by 2-1. Casemiro with a header from a Bruno Fernandes free kick.
Yeah, it's clean, it's tidy, and it's classy from Casemiro. The delivery from Bruno Fernandes makes it happen, but Casemiro is there to guide it. He glances the header, he knows exactly what he's doing, he attacks the front post space, he gets enough on the glance, and it loops over into the back of the Bilbao net. Massive goal, again, needed.
What's that, Phil? 2 goals in the space of 8 minutes has transformed Old Trafford.
And that's what this place can do to you. You know, the 3 subs have literally changed the game. They've changed the tempo, they've been direct, they've been positive, and they really have changed the game. And, you know, since so many teams come here and nick a goal and they get a bit of a lifeline, and before you know it, in 5 minutes, in a flash of a pan, you're 2-1 down.
A ducking header by Casemiro, guiding the ball in. Manchester United lead 2-1 on the night, and they're heading to the final in Bilbao.
3 for the price of 1. Ian Dennis, Izzy Christensen and Phil Jones. Commentary continues over on Sports Extra. Anything Tottenham can do here, Manchester United can match. Both English clubs in the Europa League semi-finals, leading 5-1 on aggregate. 10 minutes remaining in this game here in Norway. Light rain still falling, mist drifting across the pitch. Bodø Glimt fans have pretty much been silenced. Here they go now, though, attacking with speed down the right. Ball in towards Helmerson. Romero gets a foot on it. Back to Vicario, spinning awkwardly. Side foots a pass out into the left-back position. Van de Ven tries to drive it forward. That's blocked at close range. Helmerson, though. The ball's gone. Oh, was he offside? Helmerson offside, free kick Tottenham.
Yeah, Tottenham playing out that time. Vicario deals with a difficult back pass from Romero. Plays it sideways to Van de Ven. He goes long, he gets closed down, almost puts himself in trouble. The Bodø attacker had just strayed offside in behind Romero. Came to nothing in the end.
5 English clubs, previous winners of the UEFA Cup and Europa League. Manchester United and Tottenham both amongst them. Liverpool, Chelsea and Ipswich the others. One of Manchester United, Tottenham, are going to be winning it this season unless there is a really dramatic turnaround in either of these 2 semi-finals. Sheffield United 2-0 up at Ashton Gate in the first leg of the playoff semi-final, away to Bristol City, and Chelsea still leading Djurgårdens 1-0 at Stamford Bridge and heading to the Europa Conference League final. Pass from Evjen to the left to Hauge. Hauge's ball into the middle. Helmerson controls. Little back heel into the box. Loose on the edge of the area. Berg, nice little pass here to Surley. Surley with dancing feet. Outnumbered in the end. Tottenham lose it as they try and run it out of their own half. Evjen back on the ball for Bodø Glimt. Squirms a pass out to the right-hand side. Berg receives it in central midfield. Another goal at Ashton Gate, though, in the Championship playoff semi-final. Here's Molly Stevens.
Well, that has to be advantage Sheffield United as they take this tie back to Bramall Lane on Monday night. It's Callum O'Hare with the 3rd of the night for the Blades. Bristol City 0, Sheffield United 3.
All the reaction in the Football Daily podcast that is there for you, as always, on the BBC Sounds app. The ball down the left here, looking for Udogie. Udogie holds off his man, plays back to Tell, the young Frenchman on loan from Bayern Munich, calmly rolls the ball back into the Tottenham half. Some of the Bodø Glimt fans closer to us have seen enough. They are starting to make their way to the exits.
Fair play to them, though, because there's not many of them that are making their way to the exits. As you say, it's freezing, the fog's rolling in, the rain's coming down sideways. Most of this stadium, apart from the back few rows, are uncovered. People are wearing ponchos, getting absolutely soaking wet, yet the home fans are sticking with it to the end.
Yeah, I think they want to thank their team for an incredible run in Europe. Let's not forget as well, their domestic season totally different to lots of the teams they play. They've only recently restarted their latest domestic season. They got the weekend off, though, before this fixture to help them prepare for this game. 2-0 down at home against Tottenham. Here's Schervel, the right back, speeding towards the Tottenham area into Evjen. Evjen lays the ball off, floated high ball towards Hauge, was thinking about trying to volley it. Tottenham have managed to scramble it away, and Kulusevski running hard down the right hand side. Auckland gets a foot in on the challenge. Tottenham win themselves another throw. 7 minutes plus added time away from the full-time whistle, and Tottenham making it through to a 6th major European final.
That's what puts into perspective what Bodø have actually achieved this season, especially in the Europa League. They've only played 4 league fixtures. They're 2 games behind the teams that sit top of the league. The defending champions, they're 4th, but they've got 2 games in hand. They will go back top if they win those 2 games. But actually, when you look at their Europa League campaign, most of it's taken when they're out of season. I mean, the season runs from March to December.
Isak Meta has come on. He started the first leg against Tottenham last week. He's come on for Jens Petter Hauge on the left-hand side of the attack. But it's looking fairly forlorn for Bodø Glimt now. They need 4 goals. They've got less than 10 minutes to do it. Kulusevski back to Porro. Porro almost slips on the ball there. Still has it, though, on the right. Looks to swing a Diagonal pass towards Tell, never had the oomph in it to get there. Schervel intercepts, running up towards the halfway line. And Bodø Glimt have it back and start to play out of their own half. So last we heard, Manchester United leading Athletic Bilbao 2-1. I'm told there's been another goal. Ian Dennis.
Manchester United lead Athletic Bilbao by 3-1. Amad Diallo has come on and has transformed Manchester United, charging away down the right-hand side, and Højlund presented with a little flick finish from close range. They've even got time to pose for a selfie.
Yeah, they've taken a little bit like Mo Salah did against Tottenham when they clinched the Premier League title at Anfield. Similar sort of situation here. A fan has given Ahmed a phone, and Højlund, Ahmed and the rest of the players are gathering round, celebrating. Easy finish for Højlund, but huge input from Ahmed on that right-hand side.
Amad Diallo's single-handedly changed the game by himself. The pace that he runs and he commits defenders at, he's a nightmare to defend against. But for a full-back who's getting stood up against him, so difficult to stop when he's running at speed.
Højlund's only his third goal in his 31st appearance for Manchester United. They now lead Athletic Bilbao 3-1 on the night, 6-1 on aggregate.
If you want the closing stages at Old Trafford, commentary on Radio 5 Sports Extra in the company of those voices you heard, Ian Dennis, Izzy Christiansen and former Manchester United defender Phil Jones. They'll stay with us through until 10:30 as well, as we break it all down, look back on tonight's action, look ahead to the final in Bilbao between Manchester United and Tottenham. Sliding challenge, Romero gets it right inside the box, the ball goes behind for a Bodø Glimt corner. Tottenham still lead 2-0 on the night, 5-1 on aggregate.
He's been good tonight, Romero. The understanding with him and Van der Ven, they are the first choice pairing for Postecoglou, but Romero particularly, he's led by example tonight. I think he's been strong, he's been tough in the tackle, he's read the game well, and he's been a leader at the back.
That's the voice of Paul Robinson, former Tottenham goalkeeper in that Tottenham squad that won that trophy, last trophy back in 2008. Corner comes in to the edge of the 6-yard box. I think that might have been Romero who won the header as well. His tail inside his own half, forward to Porro, it skids off the laces of his right boot and goes out for a throw-in to Bodø Glimt. Those Tottenham fans, what a night, what a trip for them, away to our left, wrapped up warm in the blue and white colours of Tottenham, and a European final to look forward to against Manchester United.
Well, a lot of Tottenham fans at the start of the season, you were asked the question jovially, would you take 17th place and some kind of silverware or a trophy?
Yeah.
And the answer that most Tottenham fans, nearly to a person, would say yes. But then you look at the domestic campaign, it's been nothing short of a disaster. You take this cup run out of the season for Tottenham, it's been one of the worst seasons for years. But somehow they've managed to do it on a Thursday night regularly, as have Manchester United.
Well, the last time Tottenham finished outside the top 10 in the Premier League was in 2007-2008, and they won a trophy that season. They're definitely finishing outside the top 10 in the Premier League this season. Could it be the year they win another trophy? Great support from the Bodø Glimt fans, back on their feet, rhythmically clapping their hands, all in bright yellow. They know their team is heading out. They want to thank them for their efforts this season. Some effort from the Tottenham players as well. Bodø Glimt have the ball inside their own half. Across it comes to the left back, Bjorkan. Bjorkan still has the energy to sprint down the left. Pass to Auckland, back to Bjorkan, that ball's behind him. Bentancur intercepts, Kulusevski's not got the legs to keep that ball in play, and so that will go out for a throw-in to Bodø Glimt. So we're into the 88th minute of the game, plus a little bit of added time. And then the Tottenham fans inside this stadium in northern Norway tonight and all around the world, possibly listening to us, can celebrate. Stinging shot, saved by Vicario, struck by Surley, straight at him, pats it down into the ground and then falls gratefully on the ball. I wouldn't take too long getting rid of it though, because the referee's on your case.
Now, he's not going to give another yellow card. It takes a brave referee to give a goalkeeper 2 yellow cards. Never seen it. That's the first time in the second half, really. Bodø are chasing the game, obviously we know that. But that's the first time Vicario's had any kind of a real save to make. It's a decent strike by Surley, straight at the goalkeeper.
Back in 1984, it was a Mickey Hazard goal, away to Hajduk Split, that won the second leg, 1-0, that took them through to the UEFA Cup final against Anderlecht. That one finished 2-2 on aggregate, drawn over both legs, and then finally the penalty shootout at White Hart Lane. If you can remember all the way back, Tony Parks, the hero, with a couple of penalty saves, cross into this Tottenham area. They want to keep the clean sheet. Porro heads the ball away. Bjorkan's little flick pass blocked on the edge of the Tottenham area. Sarr is off balance, volleys it out of play for a throw into Bodø Glimt. Attacking position on the left. Tottenham leading 2-0 on the night and 5-1 on aggregate. Patrick Berg, walking pace to Nielsen. Nielsen across to Sondre Sørli. Udogie sticks with him like glue. Then lets Sørli run away from him, knows there's no danger there, back towards the halfway line. Berg receives the ball. Low pass out to his right to Sørli again. Tottenham, apart from Solanke, have every man behind the ball, defending their 2-0 lead as Berg tries to thread one through that line of green shirts. Bentancur comes flying out and chasing. Berg's ball, trying to exploit the space to the left-hand side. Collected by Bjorkan. Bjorkan on the right, 89th minute of the game. Down the line he goes. Meta chases, blocked at the near post by Romero. Last touch comes off Meta, everything going Tottenham's way. And Romero celebrates with Pedro Porro with a big old chest bump. Another goal at Old Trafford tonight. Here's Ian Dennis.
Half, and he hit it left-footed into an empty net. Mason Mount, not quite a David Beckham a la Selhurst Park all those years ago, but Aretha Balaga was out of his goal, out of his penalty area. His clearance went straight to Mason Mount on the left-hand side, probably about 6 yards inside the Athletic Bilbao half. He hit it straight away, flat ball into an empty net, and Manchester United with an outrageous goal now lead 4-1.
It's simply sensational for Mason Mount. He's cheeky, you know, he's got a cheeky smile on his face now. 2 goals in this game since coming on. What a finish.
Effortless. The way he brought the ball down, weak foot, left foot, drilled it straight over the defender into the back of the net. 45, 40 yards out, brilliant.
One touch with the right foot and then a left-footed effort pinged into the back of the net, and Manchester United lead 4-1 on the night.
So Manchester United 4-1 on the night, winning 7-1 on aggregate. Tottenham winning 2-0 on the night, 5-1 on aggregate. Still attacking. Udogie trying to get away down the left. Eventually runs out of space. The ball goes loose and it's inside the Bodø Glimt half. And what have you spotted, Paul Robinson?
Tell's just been caught over on the far side. Went down and he's banging the floor. He does genuinely look injured this late in the game. Coming into the added time now. He got caught. He just flicked a pass around the corner to Udogie.
The fullback, challenge,
the fullback comes in, Shervelt, and catches Tell. Looks like he's taking the painful one.
So Yves Bissouma is sitting down, taking a rest. One of those who's worked extremely hard for Tottenham tonight. Tell is getting back onto his feet. Last we heard, Chelsea leading 1-0 as well, 5-1 on aggregate. Convincing wins for all the English clubs tonight. I believe the full-time whistle has now blown at Old Trafford. Full-time whistle has blown at Old Trafford. Manchester United have beaten Athletic Bilbao 4-1. They win 7-1 on aggregate. They are confirmed as Europa League finalists. Tottenham Hotspur will be joining them very shortly. We're into 3 minutes of added time. We've played 2 of those minutes. Plenty of the Bodø Glimt fans are heading now into a cold, wet, misty night. The full-time whistle has blown at Stamford Bridge as well. Chelsea have won 1-0. They are into the Europa Conference League final, where they will face either Fiorentina or Real Betis. Details and analysis of both games to come here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. We're with you through until 10:30. All of it will be on the Football Daily podcast for you as well. So Paul Robinson, 30 seconds away, and Tottenham will be able to celebrate a famous night.
Vicario and Romero just had a huge embrace. Never seen a goal kick celebrated so much between goalkeeper and centre-half. Player of the match for me, Christian Romero. He's been excellent tonight. He's been a leader. He's stood up when questions have been asked of him in the past. He stood up tonight, put his hand up. He's won challenges. He's been a leader from the back, kept the high defensive line.
Full-time whistle is coming any second. Ball into the Tottenham penalty area. Bodø Glimt player goes down. Oh, Bodø Glimt are going to get a penalty. The referee has pointed to the spot. The last action of this game could be Bodø Glimt scoring a goal to make it 2-1 on the night and 5-2 on aggregate, but that can't be a penalty. Porro's got his foot on the ball and cleared it, and then Sørli.
That's never a penalty.
That is never
ever a penalty. I mean, it matters not at this stage in the game, but the officials have to officiate consistently through the game. That's one of the worst issues. I mean, Pedro Porro just walking around with his arms in the air. If that doesn't get overturned, I mean, that was one of the worst penalty decisions I've seen. Pedro Porro gets there first before Sørli, kicks the ball away into touch for a throw-in, and then Surly goes to ground a yard after Pedro Porro's kicked the ball. That is a really poor refereeing decision.
Cannot be a penalty. I mean, potentially the referee feeling a little bit of sympathy for those Bodø Glimt players, the Bodø Glimt fans inside the stadium. They're not going to be happy when the decision's overturned, because I don't think they're going to get a chance to score a goal tonight. They're on their way out of the Europa League after an incredible season in Europe. All of this delaying the Tottenham celebrations. Now we've got to go through the rigmarole of the referee running to the side of the pitch.
It's quite simply not a penalty.
To go and have a look at the monitor. The funny thing there is, Paul, he ran the wrong way, forgot where the monitor was. He was heading off to one side of the pitch, had to do a U-turn. Back he comes. He can't give this.
No, Pedro Porro, watching the replay now in front of us, he gets there a yard before Surly, and he kicks the ball quite clearly. He doesn't even touch Surly. It's never a penalty. He's going to reverse his decision.
Wags his finger in the air. All change. Bodø Glimt do not get the penalty. Tottenham will get to keep their clean sheet. And shortly, Ange Postecoglou and his team will be able to celebrate a place in the Europa League final. Potential redemption and salvation this season. Manchester United are there. Chelsea are in the Europa Conference League final. And Tottenham shortly are about to make the final of this competition for the first time since 1984. And there it is! The Tottenham players celebrate in northern Norway. Pedro Porro leaps into the arms of his captain, Christian Romero. The Tottenham substitutes come pouring onto the field, and in a season when Ange Postecoglou and his Tottenham team at times have plumbed the depths, well, tonight they've hit the heights. They've come to northern Norway. They've dealt with the Norwegian champions on this artificial pitch. They've got themselves a 2-0 win with goals from Solanke and Porro, and they've beaten Bodø Glimt 5-1 on aggregate. They will play Manchester United in the Europa League final in Bilbao. Paul Robinson.
And celebrate they might, and they are doing on the pitch. As a team, as a squad, going over to those Tottenham Hotspur supporters that have made this long journey. That's an outstanding performance from Tottenham. Organised, structured, defensively sound, not pretty, not a great watch, but effective. We spoke before about Bodø, the home record. You don't get to the semi-final of a major European competition without having something about you. And they've got more than something about them. We've seen that this season, especially at home. They've taken care of the likes of Olympiacos, FC Twente, Porto, Lazio here. And Tottenham have come here and they've done a number on them. They've kept a clean sheet and they've been excellent.
Tottenham players sprinting off to our left to go and celebrate with the Tottenham fans, some of whom are just leaning over the barriers there and trying to get a moment with their heroes. An all-English Europa League final, remarkably, between two of the most inconsistent teams we've seen this season. In the Premier League, they've been awful. Manchester United 15th in the league, Tottenham 16th. One of them will win the Europa League this season. One of them will play in the Champions League next season. What a night for Tottenham in Norway. They've beaten Bodø Glimt 2-0 on the night, 5-1 on aggregate.